Okay. Why does it always click that button? That's not the button I want you to click, but you always do it. Okay. Hi, Progressive Possum. So we get ourselves situated here. We can get our day going. Make sure that's turned down all the way. Hi, Pepperonis. I'm doing well. Just tired. I'm ready for the weekend. Steve Ray. Oh my gosh, I'm getting a fax raid. Fax raiders, welcome in, guys. Thank you so much. Welcome in, welcome in. Just got started this morning. So welcome in. Let's do all the good things. Oh, I see. You did want me. SpongeBob raid. It's crazy, Sam. I'm just going to play a song to get us going today as we get started. And we'll get into it. Thank you, Audrey. I try to embrace them. If you wanna kick this rock around. If you had a flag planted in the ground, I'll stay here till morning. To make you laugh before MAGA ruins everything. That's fair. That is fair. Hold on, we gotta get my... Make sure we're doing all of the good things as we come in, guys. Fax raiders, I appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much, Steve, for sending in a raid. I appreciate you. Let's make sure we're doing all of the good things. Let's tap that screen, share the live out, do your daily heart me. If you have not done so, I would appreciate it so much. If you're getting in over there on the YouTube, if you could hit that thumbs up button for me, I would appreciate it so much. Hi, Steve. And YouTube, I'm sorry. YouTube and Twitch, I'm sorry you can't hear the music, but we always get started with a song just to kind of mellow us out before we get started. Hi, Monster. He's making a meridian. We are getting double debate with me today. I wish I could know you much more sometimes. I'm just gonna be an oddies, Justin. I'm not trying to like double live that, so. You have a headache already, monster? No. I'd be willing and able. Yeah. Noah Khan? Yeah. The whole album is just like. Oh, yeah. I've been all about him since his first album came out. Good morning and good afternoon to those of you on the East Coast. I appreciate you guys being here today. You guys started doing all of the great things, so I appreciate that so much. Make sure we are still tapping over here on TikTok to get those likes up. I would appreciate it. Share the live out if you haven't. You can send it to 5 friends. You can repost it. You can add it to your story. It does help boost us. Do your daily heart me if you have not done so. If you do your daily heart me and join, you get access to the stickers. So if you go like you're going to add a comment, you click that little heart. Those stickers should show up for you. I have the roses up there. That little goal, it does help push us onto the algorithm a little bit more. Shouts fake time zone. Leave my mountain time alone. If you guys don't know, I am multi-streaming, so I am over there on Twitch and YouTube. If you like a little bit more of a calm environment with less blood sport, I guess, in the comments, you can get that over there on Twitch. It's the same name. The links are in my bio for that, as well as in YouTube. If you love the blood sport, you can get that over there in YouTube. Guys, if you're over there on YouTube, can you hit that thumbs up button for me? I would appreciate it very, very much. Hi, Doronimus. And we can get started today. I'm not sure how much I'll be able to go through when I tell you. How many pages is this? I have 8. I have 8 pages, which we never get through. But I'll try to structure it as best I can. At least I guess I'm prepared for the next couple days. So make sure we're doing that. Guys, I have a 100 goal that I have every single day. This is my job. This is what I do for a living. This is how I pay my bills. This is how I save money for my family. This is how I buy food for my family right now. So if you guys could help with that, I would appreciate it so very much. I have Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal in the link tree in my bio. Let's try and work on getting that down while you have me for these 2 hour. I would appreciate, or 2 hours, that's plural, 2 hours. I would appreciate it. And yeah, let's do the good things. This is a job, David. I have to pay taxes on it. It's a job. So that's just the way it is. Yeah, Doronimus, I hope I can get into some of that today. You know what? Maybe I can start there. Why don't we? Why don't we start there? So, as we know, this ridiculous war in Iran that we don't need to be doing is causing great strife for the American people, particularly with the cost of oil, which then increases the cost of food and things like that, because that's how we transfer food and goods over the United States. If you don't know, we are sitting at 102 per barrel right now, I believe, unless it's changed and I can't read it. No, 101. It went back down. So from 102 to 101 per barrel, which means it's probably at 103 for Brent crude. This is just regular crude. So it's not going well, right? Well, you would think that the president, who campaigned specifically on lowering gas prices and lowering food prices and lowering prices for the American people on day one, you would think that that would be his most important priority as of right now. But apparently it's not, because here we have a journalist who asks him about that. And let's see what information we get on that from him. I apologize if it's loud. You know, when they have that stupid helicopter going in the back, it's 106, Brent crude is 106, Jesus Christ. When they have that big helicopter going on in the back, it's very loud to hear, but.
When you're negotiating with Iran, Mr. President, to what extent are Americans' financial situations motivating you to make...
Okay, so in regards to the decisions on Iran, what's motivating you? Hold on, I had it in my head.
Mr. President,
to what extent are the Americans' financial situation, to what extent are you taking that into consideration with your decisions with Iran?
Americans' financial situation motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's all.
Oh, what was that again, Mr. President? The president of these people?
Financial situation motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's all. That's the only thing that motivates.
Good to know. I mean, yes, Monster, we knew that. We fucking knew that. I just am playing it for the people who have yet to realize it. Why is the pronunciation of Iran so important? Just because I wouldn't want people to pronounce it Imerica. That's why. It's just correct. It's just how I say it. It's fine. Okay, so then I can redo that now back to red. But specifically, what we're getting is from Republicans who are being asked about that. Like, you guys should care, but you don't. And we're getting Republicans being asked about that. Most of them are saying it is his top priority, even though you're now disagreeing with what he said. This is, you guys, what they always do for you guys. This is what they always do, is they convince you by just saying, no, he never said that, or this one, which is, I don't know the context.
Yes, ma'am.
Yesterday, the president was asked about whether Americans' financial concerns were motivating him to make a deal with Iran. His response was, I don't think about Americans' financial situations. Do you think that's the right message? Do you think the president should be considering the financial toll?
I don't know the context in which he made that comment, but I can tell you the president thinks about Americans' financial situations.
Obviously not. And the context was, she asked him the question, to what extent do the Americans' financial situation motivate you to make a deal? That was the question. That's the context. He says, it at all. I don't think about it. I don't think about it at all.
I talk to him on average twice a day, sometimes 3 or 4 times a day, and we talk about it constantly. He's laser focused on trying to resolve the conflict in Iran.
Is he?
Because if we get the Strait of Hormuz, when we get the Strait of Hormuz reopened, that will alleviate a lot of pressure with gas.
I thought he said we don't need it. Do you guys remember that? Do you guys remember when Donald Trump said we don't need the strait because we don't use it, and that he could walk away without it being reopened, and then he freaked out on Easter morning and told them to open the strait, you crazy bastards? Do you remember that? No? Oh, so we do need the strait to be open to alleviate pressure. But he's also said, I'm not concerned about a deal. We either make one or we don't. He said that in the Oval Office. Do we remember that? But his highest concern is helping Americans? Oh. Which one is it, and why do you let him keep twisting you into pretzels to support him? What are you getting out of him being president other than owning the libs? That's cool. That's awesome. I really don't give a fuck. You can do that all day that you want. Yes, you guys won 1.5% fucking margin. Whoop-de-fucking-do. What is helping your financial situation when you are sitting at the table with your wife or your husband or your partner and you are discussing what you're going to do with your family? Maybe you have one child. Maybe you have a newborn. Maybe you have 2 or 3 kids. What are you guys doing? How is he helping your family in any way by you supporting him?
Gas prices and other things in the economy. Now, we've done everything. Yes, ma'am.
What did I not read, Gen X militia? What did I not read? I'm such a narcissist. I didn't read your tiny little chat complaining. I was literally talking about other people as you complained about me being a narcissist. I was talking about what other people are doing at the family table, other Americans, while the President of the United States says he doesn't think about the American financial situation at all. At all. That's what he said. Right? Okay. Let's get into some other lies that Donald Trump told yesterday that you guys don't want to talk about, but we'll look at, because that's what we do.
Mr. President, you promised to bring inflation down. It's now at its highest level in 3 years. Are your policies not working? What's happening?
Policies are working incredibly. If you go back to just
So remember, inflation is now up to 3.8%. Okay? He inherited it at 2.9. It is now 3.8. Let's see what he says about that.
you go back to just before the war, for the last 3 months, inflation was at 1.7%.
I'm sorry, what was that?
You go back to just before the war, for the last 3 months, inflation was at 1.7%.
Oh. Okay, let's look at that. Let's see, where did I put my chart? Right here. If you look at right before the war, for the last 3 months, we were at 1.7%. See, the war started at the end of February. So we can ignore that, I guess. January of 2026, 2.4. Okay, so that's not 1.7. How about December of 2025? Oh, 2.7. Okay, that's not what it was. How about November? Oh, 2.7. Okay, so that's not what it was. We can go back. Let's go back farther. September. Maybe he meant September. Oh, no. 3.0. So not that one. August. 2.9. So when was it 1.7? When was it 1.7? Why do you have to resort to name calling? You called me a narcissist. Are you going to keep crying? Yeah, the war. Yeah, no, totally. The war that's not a war, that's an excursion or an operation, but it's also a war, but it's not. But we don't need the strait, but they also have to open the strait. But we also control the strait in the not war that we won. Oh, but we still need to be there, and we sent more troops, but we already won multiple times. That one? He uses numbers that people never heard of. The best numbers. The best numbers. You know when it was 1.7? In 2019. When he was president. Is dementia grandpa okay? Or no? No? Probably not? I'll let him finish speaking, because you guys get mad when I don't.
Now, we had a choice. Let these lunatics have a nuclear weapon. If you want to do that, then you're a stupid person, and you happen to be. I mean, I know you very well.
And so we insult the reporter. Okay, that's cool. We love when they do that.
Then you're a stupid person, and you happen to be. I mean, I know you very well.
By the way, she is a woman.
Anybody that wants them to have a nuclear weapon is
Nobody
a
said
stupid
that.
person.
Nobody said that. They just said, hey, while you're fighting war to keep them from having a nuclear weapon that they never had, could you also, take care of the people that you're actually the president of? Could you do that? And could you stop lying about the numbers? Maybe? Yeah, maybe she is stupid, and maybe stupid recognizes stupid, and that's something else. That has nothing to do with anything else. Can I get W's to facts, please, for the $10? Thank you for not torturing me today. I appreciate that. W's to facts for the $10. For love the way you were reporting the news, connect those dots. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, facts. And I was listening in this morning. I probably plan to cover that either tomorrow or next week. I have stuff on the Epstein stuff I've been slowly building because we're not getting as much information, but now, especially with that hearing yesterday, we have a lot more. And so I appreciate you as a man using your privilege to bring that up, to talk about it, to be one of the people on this app, along with myself and a few others, who are not letting that go. We will not let that go. We have said that from the beginning. We're not going to let this get fucking buried like it has in previous administrations, like it's trying to be in this administration. And so I just want you to know that I see you and I see the work you're doing to do the hard things, even when people absolutely hate it and talk to the worst of the worst. And so thank you. Thank you for reporting on the things that we know still need to be reported on. Okay. That was that one. Let me highlight it. So now I am. No, let's go down here. Finish out this economy stuff. So CNBC did some reporting on April PPI, right? So we got the CPI, which increased to 3.8%. Now you get the monthly PPI, and it's not good. It's very bad.
Yeah, and the numbers are coming in on the warm side. Our April producer price index for the month of April, headline number, almost triple expectations, up a whopping 1.4%. Wow, you have to go back to March of 22 to find a bigger number, and that number was 1.7. Now, if we strip out the all-important food and energy, we're also at a triple header here. We're expecting up 0.3. We end up with up 1%. Up 1% would be the warmest since, wow, also March of 22. Now, if we go to the ex-food, energy, and trade, it's double expectations. We're looking for up 0.3. It comes out up 0.6. That equals October of last year. To find a higher number, you're in July of last year. Now, last look, the month-over-month numbers were much more well-behaved. It was the year-over-year numbers that were hot. And boy, you were talking about Calci and year-over-year. These are hot. We're expecting 4.8, 4.9, depending who you talk to on year-over-year final demand. 6%, up 6%, hottest since Dece of 2022. And if you look at ex-food and energy year-over-year, expecting 4.3, comes out 5.2%. That would be the hottest since Dece of 22. And finally, year-over-year ex-food, ex-energy.
You guys remember the year that you guys hate so very much that you lived and died in, which is 2022? We are now starting to get economy numbers that we have not seen since that time. Why? Because of Donald Trump's policies, whereas you cannot show me that in the same way under Biden. Biden was the president during that time, yes, but there was a lot of shit going on, right? Supply chain issues because of the pandemic. Yeah, and worse in some sectors. They're just hiding a lot of it, Newshound. They're like really padding it to hide a lot of what's going on. There is recession indicators all over the fucking place. When you have companies like Whirlpool coming out and saying they have not seen this level since the recession. When you have Kevin Hassett I will keep repeating this every single fucking day. When you have Kevin Hassett trying to tout the fact that consumers, their credit card spending is through the roof, the fact that they are trying to tout that as a good thing when it is in fact a recession indicator that people cannot afford their necessities with their regular wages. They are now having to take out debt to be able to afford it. That's bad. And yet Kevin Hassett is touting it as being a good thing. Get a real job, dip in the road. Well, Shannon, unfortunately for you, this is my job. I pay taxes on it. And speaking of, Jolie, I hope I said that right. Jolie, thank you so much for the $5. You said, wish I could send more, love your life. Thank you so much for your support. W's to Jolie in the chat, please. I appreciate you so much. So sorry, Shannon, that's just the way it is. But anyway, maybe you can focus not on me. I mean, I know. But like maybe you can focus not on me and actually focus on the indicators that the economy is not doing well.
Ex-trade, 4.1 expected, 4.4 delivered, 4.4 will be the warmest since February of 23. So everything is coming in warm on the producer price index. And we talked about on the CPI how if you looked at the year-over-year core or just the year-over-year number up 3.8% in CPI, that was compared to the up 3.6% year-over-year hourly earnings from the last jobs report we had last week. You could do the same math here and see that, as you've talked about.
Well, Monster, not only that, you said in March 2022, the stock market was up for a bit, was the best time to sell your house if necessary. That's true. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Peter. That was cute. I actually got to see it this time. I talk about it in a way of like when we see crashes, right? So like 2008. Do you know when the market was at its best and its highest? Oh, right before it crashed in 2008. Do you know when the market was at its best and its highest before that? Oh, right before the crash of 1929. Like the stock market itself, where a projection market, a rumor market, can look great for the people up at the top, doesn't mean that they have any liquidity. Doesn't mean that it's just basically it's saying like if Monica creates a stock, I create a public stock or even a private stock. Hey, this is Monica. This is my stock. The only reason it becomes anything worth anything is because I tell Olive, hey, this is worth a lot. Can you invest in it? And she does. And then it brings the price higher and it goes higher. And so other friends are like, oh, well, it looks really good. It's doing well. Look, people are investing in it. That's all it is. It's a constant reinvestment of just what people think. Elon Musk, it's fucking wild. Like, or you can look at Trump's company with Truth Social. Truth Social is bleeding money. It's fucking bleeding money. But the stock looks okay-ish. Why? Because people keep fucking investing in it. Because they're grifters. That's it. It's wild. Like, it's not real. It affects people, but it's not real.
Joe, wages now are taking a back seat to some of the inflationary pressures that seem to be coming into the system. We see that we added almost another 100 negative points to Dow futures. We were around minus 180. We're now minus 270-ish. And on the yield side, as expected, 2-year just top 2% or 4%, and the 10-year getting ever closer to 4.5%. And realize this is in addition to we closed at the highest yield in a 2-year yesterday since the 10th of June last year, and in the 10-year sector since mid-July of last year. So we're just getting warmer and warmer. We know that the UK and EU are seeing these pressures as well for additional reasons, but part of the common thread, of course, energy prices. Joe and the gang, back to you.
He was so energetic. Real quick, thank you, Jeff, for the $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much. Sending this for all the get a real job haters. Thank you. Because I do get paid. I should get paid from YouTube next week. So thank you for that. Monster, you said, well, now I think it's low because of the straight. It is. But even that, we're seeing manipulation, right? So Donald Trump will announce they're close to a deal on a Friday. He's done this like 3 Fridays in a row now. That like on a Friday before the markets close, he will say, we're working on a deal. We should have one established by the end of the weekend. And then Monday comes, and so the markets rebound. And then on Monday, he comes on and goes, no, I don't agree to that. Or what they sent wasn't worth it or wasn't good and we won't accept it, blah, 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 blah. And the markets go back. The markets are very, very volatile right now. The only people that are doing really well in the markets right now are volatility traders, and I don't talk to them because that's just selfish. You want the market to be in free fall in order for you to do well. But the markets and the people in charge of these companies, in charge of these stocks, don't know what to do with themselves. They're just trying to follow the line that Donald Trump is giving them, but Donald Trump is all market manipulation, and there is a lot of independent investigation into the fact that his sons, his company, people within his cabinet are creating shell companies and actually buying into these stocks specifically when they're low and they crash so that they can bring them back up at the end of the weekend when it rallies. It's disgusting. So yesterday I reported on the fact that Donald Trump is loaning reserves. So he's loaning oil from our strategic reserves to oil companies. And he is now, as far as I know, that's what Audrey had said, and from what I've seen, is that he's now surpassed the amount that Joe Biden released during the pandemic. So we're past that point. So this is Kudlow on Fox Business trying to talk about putting the reserves on the market and how they're doing it so slowly. And Hassett's totally going to answer that question and not pivot.
Putting the strategic petroleum reserves on the market is coming very, very slowly. I mean, I think we pledged about 175 million. We've only put about 17 million barrels on the market. Why is that? That was supposed to be, you know, something of a moderating force or a savior, but it's not happening, Kevin.
Right. Well, we've released stuff as fast as is possible, but don't forget that Joe Biden drained the thing down to almost zero in order to get prices down right ahead of the last election to try to undermine President Trump. And when he did that, he actually broke a lot of the strategic reserves mechanisms that help us get drained.
Oh. So.
What about Biden?
It's Biden's fault.
The oil out, and so it's going slower than it has in the past, in part because one of the other things that Biden
1950, I said there's investigations into it. I didn't say it was proven. There's been, I'll have to look, there was a couple, it was one of the early points in the Iran war. There were like 2 companies that did not exist before that showed up. I can research that, but that showed up, that did not exist, showed up, invested into that stock market, buying stock. and when it rallied.
Did is he broke a lot of the strategic reserve by putting it out for political reasons and taking it all the way down almost to zero, which caused a lot of trouble with those big caverns.
And we replaced it. Not to full capacity, but we replaced what we used and we bought it back for more than we sold it for. Or we made profit on it, so we sold it for more than we paid. Back to inflation. Hassett is going to try to pretzel about inflation as well. Why? Because it's bad. It looks bad. It is bad. Donald Trump said we defeated inflation. Doesn't look like it.
Certainly on the surface, you got to admit, today's CPI was a lousy number, 0.6%. Core ex-food and energy still up 0.4%. So the 12-month change is 3.8%, and the core change is 2.8%. What does an NEC director say on a day like today when the CPI is coming out so poorly?
Well, first of all, this is a temporary energy shock, and that's very clearly in the data. And so the history of this is that people at the Federal Reserve and elsewhere tend to peer through energy shocks and use core CPI to forecast the future, not the energy shock data. And so that's really, if you're thinking about like what's going to happen over the next 6, 8, 10 months, then the best way to forecast that is movement in core. Now, core did blip up a little bit in this, not nearly as much as the top line because of the temporary shock. But the reason it blipped up was a technical matter dealing with the way they price housing. And if you exclude housing, core was 0.2, just what it was last month. And it'll be, so it's basically looking like it's holding steady core, which is what we expect is going to happen because people expect this to be a temporary energy shock. And we've seen temporary energy shocks before, and they generally don't feed through to core, which is why.
Except that people don't see it as temporary because even your own administration is saying that we're not going to see prices go down until somewhere mid-2027. And even then, they're not sure. No.
They forecast future top-line prices with core, not with the top-line price.
Well, okay.
Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
John, 35, Nebraska, Donald Trump.
Okay, why are you still supporting Trump?
I support Donald Trump because he makes good policies that benefit America in the long run.
Like what?
And like what? Securing our borders.
How did he do that?
Enforcing the laws. How did he do that? He just enforced the laws that we have on the books.
What's the laws?
I don't know the laws.
Oh, then how do you know he's... Oh, sure. How do you know he's enforcing them then?
Because he's not ignoring the law like...
How would you know that? How would you know that if you don't know the law?
When tens of thousands of people per week were crossing our border willy-nilly.
Where do we track crossings?
Giving a free pass, sending them
Where
to
do we
New
track
York,
crossings?
Sending them to California.
Where do we track crossings?
When did we? Oh,
where?
You don't remember
where,
the news media
Where do we track crossings?
Along the southern border.
What website tracks crossings for the government?
There was tens of thousands of people a week
What
coming
website
across
tracks crossings for the government?
And what happened was
what website tracks crossings for the government? What website tracks crossings for the government?
That same website told them to download an app and we will fly you
what? That's not what that app said. You don't know what that
New
app said, but what website is that? Which website is that? What website is it?
What website is it?
What website is it? None of that happened, John. What website is it, John? John, John, I know, sweetheart. I know. So what you're talking about, okay, is the CBP One app, which was instituted by the Trump administration. Okay. Let's see if he can handle himself again. Can you give me that website, though? And then we can talk about the CBP One app if you would like.
The good thing is that's been shut down by Donald Trump, thankfully.
He was the one who made it.
we did that to track illegal immigrants.
No,
now Donald
that's not what
Trump's
the
getting
CBP.
out
What was the
criminal
CBP One app
illegals
for?
now.
What was the CBP
And
One app
because he
for?
cracked down
What was the
the amount
CBP
of
One
people
app
coming
for,
across
John?
the border,
What was the CBP
is
One app for,
slim to nil.
John? John.
Don't care what the app was for.
Then how
They're
would
illegal.
Then how would
They
you know
broke
it was
the
used
law.
for tracking? You don't know anything, but you have a lot of big feelings. And I'm so glad for you that that you have big feelings, but I'm not a fucking therapist. I'm here to fact check and to critique your argument, and so I'm going to critique it. So if you could give me the website that tracks crossings for this country, and if you could tell me what the CBP One app is and does, I would appreciate that. If not, you can go fuck off and go find a therapist because I don't get paid enough for that.
If people want to come here legally,
I don't
they
get
do it
paid
the legal
enough
way.
for that.
If they just want to come in
I don't get
caravans
paid
and
enough
walk
for that.
across the border,
I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna use that, Deborah. Real quick, let's do W's to DF25. Thank you so much, because I don't know if you wanted me to say your name. So thank you so much for the $5 for standing up for our democracy. Love your content. Love DF25. I appreciate you so much. And then I'm going to use this as a kick for John, because John does not have serious conversations. If you guys think you can do better than John and actually have a conversation, I would love that. Thank you so much. But huge, huge W's. So again, W's to DF25 and W's to Deborah. You said third time's a charm. Here's to yours. According to the maggots, grifting fee for the week. Keep up trying to get them to change. Thank you so much, Deborah, for the 40. I'm just trying to get them to critique their own arguments. It's not even about getting them to change. People like John are not going to change. But maybe somebody who's listening goes, John just said he's enforcing the law. But John doesn't know the law. And you know what? I don't know the law either. And maybe I also believe that Trump is enforcing it. So maybe I should look at that. And that might lead me to the court cases that this administration is losing. Maybe that would be a good idea. Maybe I should look about if we track crossings and where. And you know what? Also, he didn't know what the CBP One app is. But he also said that it is for tracking them. But he also said he didn't know what it was. You know what? Maybe I should look up what the CBP One app was, when it was instituted, what it was used for. Maybe I should do that. That's my goal here, is just to hold a mirror up and say, hey, it's not about changing your mind. It's just about you actually researching the things that you fucking believe. That's it.
You like my picture of John?
I did say. I hate it.
I feel like he smells like crusty nacho cheese Dorito dust and like the third like bottle of fucking Code Red Mountain Dew.
I hate it so much. I saw it and I was like, I'm a serious person. I'm a serious person. I'm serious.
Oops, sorry.
So that wasn't that John, is it? I don't think it was nasally enough to be that John. And he would have brought up the LGBTQ by then. Real quick though, I just want 1950. Why would you call again? Why would you call again?
Did it trick?
Guys, I don't answer unknown numbers, so you have to call with an actual number. Real quick, though, I'm going to turn that off for just a second, just so I can show 1950 who was in here. I don't know if you're still in here. See, so the DOJ is probing $2.6 billion in oil trades related to Iran war, sources say. The Department of Justice is investigating a series of suspiciously timed trades in the oil market just ahead of major announcement by President Donald Trump and top Iranian official about the war in Iran. The DOJ, along with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, is probing at least 4 of these trades where traders made a total of more than $2.6 billion betting that oil prices would drop right before they did. They have not commented on the trades. ABC News obtained the data of the 4 trades from the London Stock Exchange Group on March 23rd, 15 minutes. Holy crap, Hector, what is that? 15 minutes before Trump announced that he would delay threatened attacks on Iran's power grid, traders bet more than $500 million that oil prices would fall. On April 7th, hours ahead of a temporary ceasefire announced by Trump, traders bet $960 million that oil prices would fall. Here's another one, April 17th, April 21st. The series of oil trades was first reported by Reuters, and the data from the LSEG does not indicate any identities behind these trades and does not prove individuals were trading based off of insider information. They are investigating it, though, which I think is good. Please investigate that. Instead of going after people with seashells, maybe actually do that. Okay. I'll turn that back on. Again, I don't answer unknown numbers. They will be filtered. They will not even ring. I just want you to know. But I would be hard-pressed to find people who don't have information being able to trade that 10 to 15 minutes before those announcements. I don't know how you wouldn't have inside information on that. And again, this is where I say, and I'm with you, before you guys say it, I'm with you. Go investigate Nancy Pelosi, since you guys think she insider trade. Actually, more than that, call your representatives and your senators, because Senator Josh Hawley, who is a Republican from Missouri, who I disagree with on almost everything, actually promoted a bill in Congress that he wanted to present, called the Pelosi Act, to ensure that people could not trade if you were working in the administration or in Congress. They then changed the name because Pelosi called him. It was like, hey, you named it after me. That's funny. But also, I think you're right. I agree with this. I don't think that if you work in Congress or if you work in the administration where you can effectuate this change, I don't think you should be able to trade on it. So I'm totally with you. Let me sign on. And Josh Hawley was like, cool. And they renamed it the Honest Act. Okay? And this would keep Congress people and people within the administration and the cabinet from being able to trade stocks, including the president, which then the president heard about. And he called and he was like, yeah, can we change some wording in here, though, so that it doesn't include me? So then they changed it. Whereas it would effectuate for Congress, it would change. So it would be after he is done being president, it would then affect every president after him, which, that's an interesting thing to do. Could it be because he's also in on it with his sons and his company on insider trading, maybe? I don't know. Just a thought. It's just a thought. But I'm with you. Call your Congress people and get them to do that. I think that would be beneficial, that we should get that passed. Why hasn't it been presented? That's interesting, because Republicans have the majority. Just, thought exercises. Just thought exercises.
You're aging yourself with your handphone. I saw a thing that said that the new generation.
Do they do it like this?
Yeah, because they've never had a home phone. So maybe switch so people think you're younger.
I don't want to be. I'm 35. I'm okay with being 35.
Do the rotary.
Wait.
Nancy Pelosi dialed him up.
Nancy Pelosi probably did use a rotary. She probably has a whole. She said, "Okay, Josh Hawley."
I had a home phone growing up. I also know what a rotary phone is. You need to stop with this backward ageism, cock.
Well, there are people who don't know how to use a rotary. My grandparents had a rotary in their home. That was a working rotary.
It was my favorite thing to play with when I was a kid.
No, I loved it so much. You still have a home phone? We don't, just because, I don't know, like, one, we didn't want it in the package, and two, it just wasn't necessary. W's to DF25 again, please. W's for the $10. You said, happy Wednesday, love you. You and Oliver, awesome. Thank you again. Thank you so much. Thank you for the support. Oh, I didn't even realize the first one you said happy Wednesday and it's Wednesday dancing. Thank you. I appreciate you and your support so very much. Guys, knocking the fuck out of goals today. You guys are doing fucking fantastic, which I appreciate, especially because I will not be here on Friday. Remember, I will not be here Friday. You do get a double dose of me today, which is awesome, but I will not be here Friday. So knocking out those goals is fantastic. And also, you guys are doing 100% amazing on the likes. We're at 80,000 likes already, and I haven't even been on for an hour. So W's to you guys. Don't forget also, I have my gift gallery. I know we're getting to the point that we're only lighting up the most expensive, and that sucks, and I know. But if you have a chunk of coins that you want to free up, go ahead and free it up by lighting up my gift gallery. I would appreciate it. Thank you so much. I know, Doff, we're losers. I know. Okay, so that was him on that one. Let's go back to Mike Johnson, because Mike Johnson's going to talk about inflation and say, talk about the fact that it's not great news on inflation. Brian Kilmeade is talking to him about that. And he's going to say we were taking off like a rocket, which, again, I don't know where they're getting this from.
That up to not great news today when it comes to inflation, up at 3.8%, highest since 2023. So for a 40% spike in terms of food prices, grocery prices, core inflation, those numbers are up. Mostly has to do with energy. It can't be the great surprise, but certainly not good news.
not good news, and real families are feeling that, and we're keenly aware of it, very sensitive to it here in Congress. We put together all the pro-growth policies in the big, beautiful bill, the Working Families Tax Cuts, to allow the U.S. economy to take off like a rocket, and we were doing that prior to the conflict in Iran. So now we've got to settle that out. The Strait of Hormuz is...
Except you weren't, because we know that. Because we could see it. Even the tariffs were affecting what was going on in the economy. The only reason they weren't as bad as everybody thought they were going to be is because of the fact that Donald Trump kept tacoing back and forth on it.
The big wild card here. And as soon as we get that done, I agree with the president. I think the prices come right back down to where they were. Remember,
nobody says that except the president and you. Economists don't say that. It's going to take time for it to come back.
the gas prices were at a 4-year low before that began, and we're beginning to see incredible growth in the economy. Other indicators are good, but you got to get the prices of groceries and gas down, and we're working every day to make sure that happens.
Are you set up?
Also that, Ari, and that was before the war, is that we do not have the numbers for October and November. They're blaming the shutdown, which again is interesting because we've had shutdowns previously where we were able to still have the numbers. So to me, it sounds like they're inflating shit. They're padding shit. But you know, just a thought. So here's Fox Business talking about consumer prices rising. This is that 3.8%, the CPI that we saw, and how it's now outpacing wages, which is, it hasn't done in a long time, and I don't think it's done it since COVID times, so Trump and Biden era. It's now, wages are not catching up with what the cost of inflation is.
Up, not upbeat. So consumer prices rose 3.8% annually in April. That is the highest since May of 2023. Inflation is now rising faster than paychecks. Wages are up 3.6% in the past year. Most of the increase came from energy. This is an energy story, up almost 18%. Gasoline specifically up 28%, airfare up 20%. You can see there transportation and clothing rising more than 4% each, shelter up 3.3%. Up, not upbeat. So
that's bad. If it now is going to cost more for goods versus what you're making in wages, again, that's why we're seeing credit card expenditure going up, because people can't afford it. But you know what? It's fine. It's totally fine, because Republicans are going to fix it, right? They're going to come out and they're going to say that we are going to work on this as hard as we can. We're going to try to relieve it for the American people in the meantime while we try to stop this senseless fucking war. We're totally going to do that. Or maybe we could just do what sunk the Biden administration with Biden's big fucking mouth and just tell you that it's fine.
What do you say to your constituents who are just saying, I can't afford the gas and the food, I've got kids to feed, I've got bills to pay, and frankly, they're worried?
No, you know what? I mean, in Northeast Indiana, we're very fortunate. We have a strong, steady economy. We're actually seeing tremendous growth, and a lot of that's due to manufacturing.
Some manufacturing jobs are... We have to do this. How you guys doing in Indiana? Any people from Indiana here? You guys okay? Is everybody okay in Indiana? What's this over? Manufacturing. Jesus, why'd you give me that map? Give me like the 5-year, for fuck's sake. Oh, we could do 1 year. 1 year is good too. Oh yeah, because perfect. It starts on Liberation Day. We love that. All employees manufacturing. Manufacturing jobs down 78,000 since February of 2025. Warehouse jobs down 105,000. Oh, what? But it's fine. They have a strong, steady economy in Indiana. It's fine, guys.
No, you know what? I mean, in Northeast Indiana, we're very fortunate. We have a strong, steady economy. We're actually seeing tremendous growth, and a lot of that's due to manufacturing, from the work that President Trump has done, whether it's related to tariffs or trade policy. It does create challenges. I think it's a lot of us, we all look at the prices at the gas station, and that affects our pocketbook immediately. But most of my constituents say, and we just had our primary last week, and I won with 67% of the vote, saying finish the job in Iran. They know the threat and the problems that Iran...
You won in your Republican primary. It has no bearing on what's going to happen in 2026 in your actual midterm. That's not them saying finish the job. That's saying they picked you over the other Republican. Were you even running against anybody? No, they're not saying finish the job. They're saying they're hurting. And you are, yeah, and well, and even that, Mia, right? Like, he's talking about himself. He's talking about himself. Well, they voted me in the primary. People are hurting. And you are coming out and saying that it's steady and it's strong, that the economy is steady and strong in where you represent in Indiana. It is not. People are hurting.
The IRGC have been for so long. They're saying finish the job. I do know that it affects.
Gary, you said Republicans are favored to win the Senate, just FYI. I'm actually not shocked by that, Gary. I'm definitely more of a realist, down to earth when it comes to that. I don't see a historical scenario very often, right, where the opposing party overtakes the Senate. Those are a lot harder seats to get. There's a few that we could. I think Alaska could flip. If you start like looking at the map, there are some that could, but not in any like a majority way. I totally see that.
Especially younger families and those who may find themselves in a difficult circumstance. I don't like high gas prices either, but I also think for the long-term security of our country, we need to finish the job.
Finish the job. What does that mean? Because that's the problem, is you guys don't have a plan. So what does that mean? We don't know. And then Chris Wright was in front of Congress at one point, I guess. And Blumenthal talks to him about the fact that they are talking about suspending the gas tax, which even I see in the YouTube you guys are already talking about, would only save, if you suspended the gas tax, which again he cannot do without congressional approval, would only save us 18 cents. Okay? It's not helping us very, very much at all. On top of that, it's interesting. I played for you yesterday where Republicans were saying when Joe Biden, I guess, played around with this idea in 2022 when people were hurting, the Republicans came out and they said it's a gimmick. It's just a game. It's a way for them to try to win the midterms. And yet now it's totally fine because Donald Trump wants to do it. So Blumenthal is going to ask him about the fact that, like, okay, if you're going to suspend the gas tax per congressional approval, it should be combined, and he says it, with a big oil windfall profits tax, right? So it kind of caps them at not being able to profit off the fact that Americans are hurting, right? Because they're price gouging. They're just raking in the money while the American people are hurting. And so, of course, Chris Wright's going to answer that because it's about the American people and not about the oil corporations, right? Well, there's that, Newshound. I forgot to mention that part. They had come out and talked about specifically, like, we still need to fund our roads. We still need to fund the maintenance for our roads. So how are we going to do that? But for some reason, those conversations aren't happening when Donald Trump wants to do it. Why? Because you just glaze Donald Trump's taint. It's all you have.
Spending the gas tax ought to be combined with a big oil windfall profits tax, which I've championed with Senator Whitehouse. As you well know, big oil is raking in bonanza profits. Shell announced just Friday that it has reported a $7 billion profit in the latest quarter, which is double the previous quarter. That is emblematic of what big oil companies are making as a result of the war. Don't you think it's time that companies like Shell put some of that money back in consumer pockets?
The oil and gas industry has had a rough couple decades. The shale revolution's been tremendous for America.
The oil and gas industry has had a rough couple decades. That's your response. They just made $7 billion in profit off of this war in Iran while the people are hurting. But they've had a tough couple of decades. Oh no, the poor, poor oil companies. I feel so bad for them.
And American consumers and global consumers.
Well, should some of the windfall profits go back to consumers? Yes or no?
If you raise taxes when we need production to rise, you'll get less production and ultimately higher prices.
Well,
so
they're not
incentives are what drive human behavior.
They're not putting any of these profits into more production, are they?
Oh, they are.
They've said they're not doing more production because they don't know how long the war is going to last.
Shell, an example, invests tens of billions of dollars every year in drilling new oil and gas wells and exploring. So if you tax something, you get less of it. And I think getting less of energy is not a good strategy. And if you look at historical records.
So you would oppose a windfall profits tax?
Any short-term tax like that for a shortage of any product is a bad idea.
Is there a way to?
Why? Why would that be a bad idea? What are they going to do if you tell them that they have a tax they have to pay on their profits? Yeah, how much do gas and oil companies get in subsidies and government subsidies? You're saying, oh, well, they invest in drilling. They get contracts for that. Stop it. Because that's against capital. You said okay, but I want to say it like the teacher in South Park. It's because it's against capitalism, okay? And then this is the last one I have on the economy, and we'll move on. We might, we'll see what we do. We'll see what I do today. Gas. So Mike Johnson gets asked this question about the fact that gas prices are up. Inflation is up. And yet, you guys want $1 billion for a ballroom. Do you care about the American people?
Speaker, also speaking of the economic front, gas prices are up, inflation's up, Americans having some financial hardships across the country. That being said, is right now the right time for Congress to be prioritizing $1 billion for security apparatus at the White House, including $220 million for the East Wing ballroom, given the fact that President Trump had said it would be paid for by private donation?
Yeah, I think that's a gross misstatement of what's going on here. In the bill.
How? How is that a gross misstatement of what's going on? Prices are up, gas prices are up, inflation is up, and Congress is putting forth a bill, supposedly, a bill with $1 billion of taxpayer money to fund this ballroom for the security, which even Republicans have come out and been like, I don't know that you would need that much for the security. They're like, I'm all down for the security. I don't know that you would need that much on a project that was his idea. We didn't ask for that shit. That was his idea that he did without congressional approval or previous permits. And that he said he was going to pay for himself and it was going to cost us $200 million. It is now being paid for supposedly by private corporations for about $400 million. He is a gross misstatement of what's going on. So what's wrong then, Mike? Explain it.
And by the way, it's in a draft form.
Brandon, that's silly. The ballroom isn't going to pay you back for the money that you spend on it, Brandon, but the illegals will. They're a net positive in way of funding.
Right now, as you know, the second reconciliation bill, sadly, we have to fund immigration enforcement and border on our own as a Republican Party, because remember, Democrats want to give $0 to it.
Not on our own. Not on your own. No, not on your own. It's with my money. You're not funding shit. You just voted on it. It's with our money, right? The Democrats said, hey, we just don't want to fund ICE and CBP until we get some regulations because they're literally shooting and killing Americans in the streets. Hey, they're literally wearing masks and not identifying themselves while they fucking assault people. Hey, maybe we have to follow the fucking law. They wanted accountability. And they said, we will negotiate. We will absolutely pass funding for Coast Guard, for TSA, for CISA. We will pass all of that funding. No fucking problem. DHS can open just fine with that. We just want to negotiate on ICE and CBP to make sure that they are actually following the law that they have been breaking. And the Republicans had a fucking hissy fit. And you're not funding shit. I am. Olive is. All the people in my chat are. You guys are.
The Secret Service put in an urgent request for additional security measures. It's not for the ballroom. It's for security measures. Now, we don't know what the final bill
Jose, it is not their job to assault people. That's insane.
is going to be that we get. They got to go through 3 more steps. They're going through the bird bath, the parliamentarian review of the bill. They got to go.
ICE is not killing people. VPL, are you okay? You have had you had the killing of Renee Good. That was an ICE agent. You want to talk about Alex Preddy. That was CBP. You're right, but that's also in the funding bill, right? ICE and CBP, very specifically. You have somebody who was arrested for an ICE agent who was arrested for raping an immigrant who was detained. You also have 2 ICE agents who were arrested and being investigated for beating an immigrant to death in ICE custody, right? They absolutely are. Try again.
Through 2 markups in some committees and then ultimately action on the House floor. So we're not going to prejudge that product. We're waiting for it to come from the Senate. But I will say this, that in one section of the bill, it addresses security measures.
Brandon, they don't vote. Call the number. We can talk about it because you would have to show me proof that they're voting. Because guess what? The Heritage Foundation doesn't even say that. The Republicans don't even say that besides the ones that are glazing Trump's taint. Keith Porter Jr. killed by off-duty ICE. That would have been ICE that killed the woman when she was struck during a car chase.
Very specifically defined on what those security requests are from the Secret Service. And I will say this, for many of you that were in the ballroom just a few weeks ago and sat through and observed the 3rd failed assassination attempt of a president just in a short number of years here, there's an urgent need for increased security measures. I mean,
then why does he keep going to open events? He just went to like a fucking open golf event. I guess it's safe. I guess he's fine. If we need increased security measures, get him more security. I don't need to pay $1 billion for him to have a bunker so he doesn't leave. I don't need to do that, right? Okay.
That is an objective fact, and it should be something that's bipartisan. The ballroom is totally...
Jeff, who are you going to blame when all the immigrants are gone? Who are you going to blame, Jeff? This is Jeff Henson. I just want you to know. None of these problems would exist if they were gone. Which problems? Actually, we'll wait. I want to see Jeff Henson answer this. Which problems do we have that would be gone if illegal immigrants were gone? Can you answer me that? Now I'm asking you. Say it for what? I'm asking you. What problems? What problems would be gone? There'd be no rape. You should look at the statistics on that. There'd be no murder. You should look at the statistics on that. You think if immigrants were gone, there would be no rape or murder. Everything you have been complaining about. What am I complaining about? The economy? Oh, that's because of the war with Iran. You're telling me that the war with Iran is because of immigrants? Jeff Henson? Come on, I'm waiting. What problems? You would have to prove that, Blake Jacobs. What problems would we not have? It would be a lot less, except it wouldn't, because we know that the highest majority who commits the most crime is cishet white men in this country. U.S. citizens commit a majority of the crime per capita compared to immigrants. You guys just fearmonger. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You just want to blame other people for your problems instead of critiquing your government who's doing nothing and asking you to pay $1 billion for a bunker for this man not to leave. That's all you have, is to blame other people for your problems. When you're done with immigrants, let's say you get everything you ever dreamed of and the immigrants are gone. Who do you blame next? Oh, the Muslims? Maybe the Muslims. Oh, maybe the Somalis. They've been lining them up for you. Maybe the Haitians after that. And once we're done with all of the groups from Africa and South America, once we're done with that, do we go back to black people? Do we just go back to American black people? Do we just do that? Maybe? Okay. And then we'll probably go back to blaming women when the immigrants are all gone, right? That what we're going to do? Your problems are because you don't hold your Republican or Democratic Congresspeople accountable to be able to do the things they are supposed to do to take care of you. And instead, you put your boot on somebody else because they have their boot on you. And you sit here and you glaze billionaires who don't give a fuck about you. You glaze these corrupt politicians who don't give a fuck about you, instead of actually talking to them. Right? Okay, that's what the fuck I thought it was. Getting rid of immigrants won't fix your fucking problems. It won't. You'll just have to find a new boogeyman. So when we're done with all the immigrants, when we're done with the ones from South America, when we're done with the ones from Africa, because you guys don't give a fuck about the ones from Europe, we'll go back to going after black people and the indigenous and women who we never stopped going after. Cool. Glad we could get there. W's, please, to the TikTok chat. I appreciate you guys and love you guys so much. I saw that you guys got us over 100,000 likes over here on TikTok. Thank you guys so much. We are at 117, and I'm just at the top of the hour. So thank you guys so much for your support. I appreciate you so much. Guys, make sure we are still doing the good things. So you guys are tapping like hell, and I love that. Your partners will love that too. I promise. I promise it's good. Trump supporters don't know this, but we know. We know. You get a little bit of this too. Use the thumb at the top. Okay. Anyway, make sure we're doing the gifts that are up, that I have set up here, the little gift goals to help push us out. I also have my gift gallery that we can get going as well. I know it's some of the bigger gifts, but if you have a chunk of change just sitting in there in your TikTok coins, I would appreciate it. It would help. It does help to light up the gift gallery. It helps me. Guys, I have 30 also left in Patch Scratcher. Is crazy, Chris. I have 30 left in my goal. I have Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo all in the link tree in my bio. If you guys would like to do that, I would appreciate it. So here you go. I guess it is finger day. So we'll play all of my lovely sounds that you guys love so much. Glizzy. Yeah! I just got hard. So thank you guys so much for your support. I truly, truly appreciate it as we're sitting here. And we'll keep going. I'll let Mike Johnson finish.
Totally privately funded. The president has dedicated like $400 million for that project. And by the way, it's going to be a donation to the country. You're aware the ballroom will be there long after he leaves. And he'll only get a few months of its use. So he's
VPL, what's the law?
doing it for the country. But it's what's beneath the ballroom that is, in my view, far more important. And we've needed some of these security measures for a long time. And that's what this is all about. So there's a false narrative out there about it. I'm not going to prejudge the product we get from the Senate, but I certainly understand what
It's not false. The narrative is that you are going to propose a bill with $1 billion of taxpayer funding for this ballroom. That's not a false narrative. That's just the truth.
The Secret Service's requests are. They have an almost impossible job right now, and they need that extra funding. Yes, sir.
Just to build off that question.
But sure. That guy has his kid tracked to make sure he doesn't go on porn sites. But, do what you do. Do what you do.
Yeah, accountability, 17.
Okay. Let's go to Iran and the DOD. We'll see how much we get to. I might have to go a little over, depending on, or we won't get to Nick Shirley today. I really want to get to Nick Shirley today, though. So we'll see how much I do. So the Hegseth had to go in front of the DOD again. Because they want that budget increase, right? They already went in front of them before because they want to increase the military budget to $1.5 trillion. The last time that they were in front of Congress, not even like a week ago, Hearst told us the number that supposedly the Iran war has cost us, which was $25 billion. This is going to be an increase in that estimate, apparently. And again, just an estimate. It probably costs more than that.
Thank you all for being here. Mr. Hearst, on April 29th, as you indicated to the ranking member, you said that the Iran war had cost $25 billion in total. You reaffirmed that today. Do you have any other updated costs or projections?
Real quick before I do that. Thank you. My God. Did you use the same one? Everybody is sending me the Wednesday dancing. W's to Manny for the $30 to complete the goal today with the Happy Wednesday dancing gif. Thank you so much. I love being a part of this throuple that I get taken care of by multiple people in my life. Woo! So W's to Manny for completing the goal. Guys, thank you so much for completing the goal. I appreciate it. We appreciate it so much because I pay my bills with this and it's expensive up in this bitch. So thank you. Guys, don't forget, I do take more donations as well. That's my goal. My goal is done and completed, but we do take more donations. We have communities that we help. So if you're in my Discord and you would like to learn about people that we help within our community who need help right now, please do. Also, again, I won't be here on Friday, so I'm missing out on that, but you do get double me tonight, so that's there's that part of it. So thank you guys so much. Keep doing all of the other good things as we sit here. I would appreciate it. Why are we saying Obama 2028? He cannot run. I would not want him to run because that's against the Constitution. We have to be here on this, guys.
We still had 17 left on mine.
Oh, I have your little thing here. Where is it? Let's get that up. Guys, let's complete Olive's goal. Well, shit, I gotta get rid of the other thing. There it goes. Her links are in her bio, so let's make sure that we are doing that and completing out. It's only 17. I know you guys can fucking complete that.
The thruple. Part of the thruple's in the queue.
Bring him up for a second, and I gotta try and get through this outline.
Yes.
Hello. Thank you.
Hello. Yeah, no problem. I actually have some, I wanted to tell you guys something since, we're all friendly here. So this morning, a Trump supporter said, I hope you lose your job soon. And I just want to let the Trump supporter know that I don't have my role anymore in my job.
Stop.
I actually got a new role. I am now T2 over the tech support team. So I have been promoted.
So you told me
I have been promoted.
Say it because you wanted to say it. Is that why you told me to shush?
Yes.
Okay.
Yay, I'm so fucking happy for you. You have deserved that for so long.
God.
Fucking
He has
I
been
am
working
so
his
tired.
ass off.
Working my ass off for that shit.
He has been working so hard for it, and I am beyond proud of everything he's done.
It was like the most nerve-wracking fucking
Did they pull
one-on-one
you
I've
into
had
the
so far.
office?
Yeah, it's literally what I've been doing for like the last 2 hours is talking about compensation and all of that good fun stuff.
All of the contract shit.
I am so proud of you. You know that?
I thank you, baby. I love you.
Yay! I'm so happy.
Now we start working for the next promotion.
Yeah, all right. The grind never stops. What? Okay, I'll let you guys get back to politics.
I love you.
Love y'all. Later.
I was so upset because he texted me and he said shh, 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 don't tell anyone. I'm like, I'm not.
I'm not. I didn't do it.
If you motherfuckers don't stop calling it a throuple,
Oh,
I'm gonna block all of y'all.
sorry. It's the couple. What was it? The couples in the trench coat?
Yeah, what was it?
Yeah, two couples in a.
I don't know who did it because I didn't have my screen up for. Oh, nope, it was blue. No, we were calling it two couples in a trench coat.
That's what it was called. Two couples in a trench coat.
And a moth in a
Content
closet.
link in bio. Content link in bio. I'm kidding. Slightly.
Okay. Back to the outline. So again, he's asking, do you have any new estimates on the number for the war and the cost of the war in Iran?
Since that testimony that you've given?
It is 2026. The moth can be out of the closet. Come out of the closet, moth.
Outside reporting estimates have indicated that the war costs could be $1 billion a day. Do you have anything to share?
Yeah, thanks for the question, sir. So at the time of testimony in front of the ask, it was $25 billion. But the Joint Staff team and the Comptroller team are constantly looking at that estimate. And so now we think it's closer to 29. That's because of updated repair and replacement of equipment costs and also just general operational costs to keep people in theater.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Mr. Secretary, when can you share more formal accounting on the cost of the war with Congress and with this committee?
We'll share what we can. I think we've updated on that number this morning, but when it's relevant and required, we will share it.
It's required now because you're asking them for more money. So it's required right the fuck now. It's relevant right the fuck now. So $29 billion is now the estimate. It's probably way higher than that. And yet you want more money. You work for a department of the government that has failed its last 8 audits, but you will decide when that information to Congress who gives you the money is relevant. Mm-hmm. Sure. totally how that works. So we did have the idea of a ceasefire, right? They talked about having a ceasefire. So Aguilar is going to ask Hegseth, how do we know that that's actually in place? Is there any kind of documentation, signed signature, any kind of reference, or is it just that you believe the president?
April 29th, you testified that the current ceasefire meant that the 60-day calendar with the War Powers Resolution was paused. Who are the parties to the ceasefire?
Well, right now, we are in that same ceasefire as of right now.
That wasn't the question. Who are the parties to
It would be the United States and the regime in Iran.
How many pages is the ceasefire? What deal points? I'm not asking you to share the contents. I guess what I'm trying to ask is, how do we know that the ceasefire is active or not active without any documentation?
We know it's evident, and the ceasefire is in effect.
How is it? What the fuck kind of answer is that?
Not his voice went up an octave. Did you catch that?
Yeah, also that. He's going through puberty. Leave him alone. Leave him alone.
I have no idea who's all in the...
It's, this hearing's not. This was from a few days ago, a couple days ago. Hi, Becca. He's asking you, how do we know that the ceasefire is in effect? And he literally said it's evident. It's the shit that y'all do to us when we try to have a conversation. And you guys are like, millions of people came over the border under Biden. And we say, well, how do you know that? And you could just look with your eyes. Like you saw millions of people. What's evident? How is it evident that there's a ceasefire? What?
It's evident, and the ceasefire is in effect.
But is it pages? Is it 15 points? There's been different points that have moved around. Is there any other? How do we know? You just trust that the president knows that the ceasefire is active or not active?
As you know, for the most part, a ceasefire means the fire is ceasing, and we know that has occurred while negotiations occur, and there are lots of different discussions with our negotiating team that are happening. I'm there when those discussions are occurring.
The fire is ceasing, except when this ceasefire came about, it was so evident, except for the fact that the fast boats were still firing at ships. The fire is ceasing. Ari, it is incomprehensible how incompetent he is. Wild.
Different drafts, different perspectives. So it's a very dynamic situation where a negotiated settlement could be the outcome here, where Iran does not have nuclear capabilities. And from the Department of War perspective, we're here to support those options.
On May
That didn't answer the question at all. At all. So then a congressman, again, these are hearings, okay, to give factual information to Congress in regards to the fact that you want to increase the budget. You need the budget to increase to $1.5 trillion, okay? And so Representative McCollum is going to ask specifically if Congress doesn't authorize the money or the continued operation in Iran, what's your plan? And of course, he's going to answer that to the people he needs to answer that to.
Congress does not authorize, if we don't authorize this, to continue military operations against Iran, you're going to have a plan put in place to draw down our troops, to reset the region, to protect our assets. I'm wondering, and that might be in a classified situation, but could you provide this committee with Plan B? Because if we go there, we're going to...
And she even makes note that this might be something you have to reveal to Congress members in a skiff, which they're allowed to do. And so she's saying, like, that's fine. If you have to say that it's a skiff situation, totally fine. Let's see if that's how he answers.
We're going to have to reset our budget after June 11th if the War Powers Act, in my opinion, should be invoked and it comes to Congress. But we don't know what the outcome would be. Do you have a Plan B?
Ranking member, I would say we have a plan for all of that. We have a plan to escalate if necessary. We have a plan to retrograde if necessary. We have a plan to shift assets. Certainly in this setting, we wouldn't reveal what the next step may be, considering the gravity of the mission that the president is undertaking to ensure that Iran never has a nuclear bomb.
Well, Mr. Secretary, as you know, we can be in receipt of that in a different situation, and we would also like that by June 11th. Congress does not.
Uh-oh. She's saying, okay, you're saying you can't reveal it because it might be classified information. Cool. I'll join you in a skiff. And guess what? Now you have until June 11th to get me that information. Because that's their job. Their job is to hold them in the cabinet accountable to do their job. They might be appointed by the president. They are confirmed by the Senate, and they still answer to us. So, this one, Representative Morrell is talking about the fact that companies are making investments for which they will not be compensated, supposedly, in way of munitions. And he's asking Hegseth why they would do that. Now, Hegseth's answer is interesting because he pretty much answers that they will be compensated.
Quick, you mentioned something, Mr. Secretary, in your opening comments about private companies making private investments in our defense. I assume they're getting compensated for an investment. When you say private investment, are you suggesting companies are making investments for which they will not be compensated?
Yes, I am, Congressman.
Why would they do that?
Because we're turning it. It's the right question because we've done it one way for years and years and gotten the same results. So this is changing the paradigm. Companies now know we're going to give them orders for 5 to 7 years on exquisite munitions.
Oh, so they're getting paid. So they're not doing it without compensation. They're getting contracts for munitions for 5 to 7 years, and they're getting paid for that on our dime. So they're not doing it without compensation.
Exchange for them paying for capitalization of their own plants. We used to pay for them to build their plants and then buy the munitions from them. So now, because they know they got consistent income.
But they are. No, I appreciate what you're saying.
I would love to see an example of a munitions company building their own site without a government subsidy. Give me that example, Pete Hegseth.
They're upfronting
The
costs.
primes are now paying for their own plants and equipment. That is a brand new paradigm. The taxpayer's not paying for it. That's $50 billion of value that you don't have to
Trixie, I didn't notice.
Because
it does say defense sucky. I didn't notice. That's pretty funny.
That is what I'm going to forever call Pete Hegseth now.
Defense sucky. Goob,
The defense sucky.
Goob, you are right. He is talking about communism.
the companies are paying
The defense sucky is
And the
speaking
companies
on
will
the
not get
commies.
compensated. They're going to make that as a charitable contribution to the United States government.
Their compensation is long lead times of munitions that they will produce and we will pay for in the future, but we don't have to build the
All right,
factory.
just to be
I mean,
clear.
this
yes,
is how private business
reclaiming my
works.
time. Reclaiming.
They
I
have
just want to be clear. Wait,
build their
Mr.
own
Secretary,
factories.
I appreciate what you're saying, but let's be honest. They're going to get compensated. Now, look, I'm for that, and I appreciate what you're saying in terms of lead time and
deals that
dependability
have
and
been cut.
reliability of funding. But let's be clear. I want to switch topics if I can for a second. There's been much reported about the president's trip to China, and I appreciate again my colleagues who have raised Indo-PACOM and its defense. There are weapon sales which have been on hold that the president has not authorized to Taiwan, and I wonder if you could give me an update, either Ms. Secretary or General Kane, on what the status of those weapon sales are at this point.
Which, by the way, I don't think I'll be able to get to today, but Donald Trump flew to China. Do you know who else went with him? Oh, his son, who's not in the administration at all, and is in private business, and that's Eric. Elon Musk also flew. As far as I know, I think like the NVIDIA CEO, like all these other CEOs went over to China as well during this time, which is interesting. Could you imagine? Oh, wait, yeah, I could, because when Hunter flew with his death, I'd be... Oh, he didn't. That was Eric. Okay, got it. Cool. Cool. Julius. Oh, nope, you didn't mean to. Cool. Got it. Free flights in Air Force One. Yeah, we paid billions. We paid for billionaires. I don't know if Elon Musk flew on Air Force One. I will be clear. I know that CEOs went over there, but again, why are they going over there at all? But
I just want to say that the primes will be paying for those factories out of their own pocket, not the department's
Prove that.
money or the taxpayers' money, which is a sea change, which is why I think this budget
They're
is
going to
so
get a
historic.
return on their investment, which, by the way, this is
Which we
America.
welcome.
Well,
We welcome a return on investment. These are
yes, I
private
understand, but they're
businesses. We
not
want
paying
to
for it out of their pocket and not getting compensated. But anyway, could you answer my question about Taiwan?
Buildings
sales.
cost money, and if
Yeah,
we're giving them $2 billion to build the factory, that's taxpayer money. If they're using it out of their own hide, that's $2 billion saved for the American people that then we can appropriate toward munitions that we pay for in the future. Yeah, I know it's difficult to grasp.
he did.
It's not
It's
You're
what
right.
happens when
grasp, sir.
businessmen
It's-
take
it's-
control of a
it's-
department.
Yep. Thank you, Jim. Wow. Jesus Christ. Hold on. I'll just bring it over here real quick so you guys can see it. Elon Musk was on Air Force One. Tim Cook of Apple. He's resigning, and he's ending his tenure from Apple. Jensen Huang of NVIDIA. I just thought they went there on their own. Kelly Ortberg, a former CEO at aerospace manufacturer Rockwell Collins, became the CEO of Boeing in 2024. So the CEO of Boeing. So those, including Eric Trump, these billionaires, millionaires, CEOs, we paid for them to fly to China. Cool. Is that cool? You guys good with that? You paid that. Why did I have to pay for it? Elon Musk can afford his own goddamn plane. Why the fuck did I pay for that? The fuck? You guys are fucking taint glazers. Lick that boot harder, daddy.
It's a different way of getting to the same place. You're going to pay for it, the United States. And look, we ought to. They're building things for us. But to suggest that somehow they're making an investment that they're not going to get compensated through sales is just, it's honestly kind of
But
ridiculous.
we used to pay for the building too, and then pay for the sales. And now we're paying for the sales, but not the building, which I think is a good.
And they're not
deal for
embedding that in the
American
price
taxpayer.
of the things that they're selling to us.
The
The
price is-
capitalization, the CapEx that they're putting into it.
Right. So now he's asking, okay, so we're not giving them, supposedly, not giving them a subsidy to build anymore or a contract to build anymore. We're just giving them the contracts for the actual arms. Are they going to increase the price that they give our arms to us to compensate for that?
But they're going to get back. Look, I don't know
They're
why
paying
we're
for
even
it.
arguing about
How
it.
do you know
They're
that?
paying for it.
How do you know? How do you know? We will get back to Hegseth. Yeah, we'll get back to Hegseth tomorrow. I really want to do this Nick Shirley bit. I have to torture you guys. I'm sorry. But as we're sitting here, can we make sure that we get Olive's goal accomplished, please? She only has 17 left in that goal. You guys just knocked the fuck out of my goal, and I appreciate it so very much. So much. So can we make sure that we get to the link tree in her bio, please, to fulfill that 17? I know that we can. And while we're here, oh, well, that. Is it Eric? Eric, thank you. I'll send that to Olive. Eric, W's for the 17 on the Blue app. You said donation. I'm going to send that to Olive. Can continue your outline tonight with two callers. Okay. I'm going to do it right now. 17.
Do you ever sneeze so hard where your lungs feel good afterwards? I don't know how to explain it other than that.
Yeah, no, it's nice and relieving. That's why I hate when I can't.
Thanks, Eric.
Okay, so W's to Eric, please, for accomplishing Olive's goal. I appreciate it so much. So we can...
Oh, Justin, do you still want me to comment?
Go back to that.
Kayla, what?
Okay. Can you explain the science of that in Discord, Kayla, please?
Googling right now. Hold on.
All right.
Okay, I'm not gonna say that loud.
So Nick Shirley went to Cuba. Before his video actually came out, the one that I saw was him complaining about the fact that he was kidnapped in Cuba, which is like a whole thing. But I did want to play, and Blue brought it up this morning. I had seen it yesterday, and so I wanted to pull it up. I have to stop it because it starts automatically playing. Is Josh Johnson went on I was trying to see if I can. Aha! Josh Johnson went on The Breakfast Club, and he's a wonderful comedian, but he's also a comedian who has facts behind the shit he says. And he is a great social thinker, I think. I really, really love Josh Johnson. And he talks about Nick Shirley. And so we're going to play this first to kind of give you an understanding about that. I saw it, Eric. I don't know if you saw that. We saw it. Eric, thank you so much for completing Olive's goal.
Eric.
I sent it to her. We completed Olive's goal. The goals are knocked out. Any additional donations are always appreciated. I will completely shout you out. Again, I'm not here Friday, but thank you so much. So Josh Johnson is here to talk about Nick Shirley. Now, the problem that I have, you guys have this thought that Nick Shirley... Oh, well, perfect stranger. Nick Shirley is going to show us the downfalls of communism. Even though every person that he interviews talks about the fact that communism is bad because nobody here is actually communist. Oh, shocker. Anyway, Nick Shirley does not do independent journalism because independent would mean going into a place, investigating and coming out with facts, not assuming. He already has a preconceived notion. He already has a bias towards the situation because of his political affiliation, because of his audience in way of his political affiliation, and who he has to cater to. And so instead of actually investigating what's actually going on, and by the way, for the most part being late on his investigation, right? He's late by years, if not months, on his investigations. We saw that with Minnesota. We saw that with California. California, he was late by like 3 years. California already knew what was going on. And he has it. He's just going with confirmation bias. He is not actually investigating anything. But I'll let Josh Johnson talk about it because he does it way better than I did.
Some good investigative journalism.
On Nick Shirley's part?
That's the guy that exposed everything in Minnesota, right?
I wouldn't say he exposed everything.
He didn't expose shit because there were already convictions for fraud in Minnesota under the Biden administration.
I mean, he did. Didn't he expose the whole Minnesota fraud case? Or am I confusing people?
No. Because I think you might be confusing the fact that in Minnesota, the stuff that he was talking about.
He blew it wide open for you, Mike. You didn't know. I didn't know, but you didn't know. But seeing as there were already convictions, meaning that there were already articles reporting on these convictions that happened in 2024, he didn't blow anything open because they knew. They already knew. They had been investigating since the Trump administration the first time.
Was already being investigated.
So he just amplified it.
He just amplified it. And he also incorrectly amplified it because this dude, because he's not a journalist, doesn't know like protocols, doesn't know what to do. So then this dude also just shows up at a daycare and it's like, let me in with a camera. It's like, they were like, no. And they're like, well, you must be doing fraud. It's like, no, you are a grown man with a camera that wants to come in. Yeah.
Right. That's not how you investigate. You can investigate the business records that are public. You can investigate the license, which is public. You can investigate the taxes, which you can try and get with FOIA. Like, you can get all of that information and be an independent journalist. I would have had no problem with it at all. The issue is that you're a grown-ass man with a group of other grown-ass men behind you trying to get into a daycare center. And when they tell you, hey, fuck off because you don't have a kid, there's kids here, you're not coming in, you say, fraud! That doesn't mean anything. That's not independent journalism.
No, that's crazy.
That's an interesting one though, because if there clearly was something going on there that was wrong.
Sure.
Now, I don't know who hipped him to it or why he did what he did, but what if he heard about it just being in Minnesota and decided to be vigilante?
I think you, once again, this is like where journalism comes into play, and like, do you cite your sources? Do you get background on people? Do you ask the right questions so that you're not...
Robbie, totally agree. He said the fraud is a drop in the bucket, which I still want to investigate and convict, compared to military contract fraud and corporate welfare and how the poor pay more in taxes. If you make $1 million, you're not paying shit in regards to your Social Security tax. If you're a billionaire, it's like 0.01% that you pay in Social Security tax, while people who make $185,000 or less pay, like 12%? Not to mention what we just talked about that I just showed, which is the DOD that has not passed its last 8 audits. Not to mention the corporations that are not running on their own money. They're just trading in stock with each other. How did Elon Musk pay for Twitter again? Oh, with stock. Got it. Not his own money, because they don't actually have their own money. They get money from us. And the corporate welfare and the corporate and the contracts that they get from the government contracts that they get. Let's talk about the white collar fraud of the fact that there are billions in unpaid taxes per the IRS that nobody's going after. But yeah, sure, this was the problem.
When you are an independent creator and you're just over here trying to get clicks, you're trying to get clicks. So you ask questions that are going to lead to clicks. You're not necessarily asking questions that get down to the truth of the matter.
He didn't do any investigation.
I don't think he did any investigation. And I also think that, like, he knows what he's doing. Even as someone who seems very dumb, he also knows what he's doing. Like a dumb bully can also be smart about bullying. Some people just have a talent for certain things, right? And so when I look at a Nick Shirley, I'm like, whether he is right about the next story he engages or not, it's how he goes about it. And it's also who he does it to, because it's not journalism is supposed to be journalism across the board. If your journalism is only finding where the fraud is in any brown or black skinned community so that you can perpetuate so you can perpetuate a narrative that all black and brown people are scammers. You look at crack versus cocaine, right? And if we as a country really cared about people doing illicit drugs, why didn't we raid clubs? Why didn't we raid Studio 54? Why don't we raid people on Wall Street? Why don't we raid? We know to keep going to the places where the crack is, never where the cocaine is, right? And that's the sort of like classic Nick Shirley. That's Nick Shirley before Nick Shirley. That's a dude out here, all right, I see these people as villains. So it doesn't even matter that right behind Nick Shirley in a suburban community, you might have all the white collar fraud that you could make content out of for 10 years. We're not going to.
Oh, like Nick Shirley's parents who had to do a settlement for being accused of fraud. Like that.
Cover that because that's my neighbor. He's not a criminal. It's these people over here that I got to drive to that are different than me that must be the criminals.
We know it's real, right? Because we know 78 people have been charged, 60 convicted or pled guilty. So when you know that, does the intention, or the why he may have done it or the how he did it, does that matter?
I do think the how matters because I think the how is the difference between a journalist and between like a troll. Do you know what I mean? Like, because Nick Shirley did not lead to all those convictions. Nick Shirley did not like to me. Nick Shirley is like someone who will go somewhere with a microphone already following a narrative and a story that they've established ahead of time. Nick Shirley himself is really, I can't imagine him ever going to a place and being like, oh, actually, y'all, the Haitians weren't eating the chickens. They weren't, you know what? I'm sorry. That's my bad.
It was the dogs,
I went
not
to
the chickens.
Oh, yeah.
Chickens are fine.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying biting the head off because the dog and cat thing led to so many other like weird fringe things that people were saying. They were like, oh, they're doing blood rituals with chickens and stuff like that. Like whatever. Like Nick Shirley's not going to go to that community and then put cameras in people's faces and ask trolley type questions and then be like, y'all, I did my investigating. Turns out I was just being racist. That's my bad. Like that's never going to happen. There may be something that is happening that we can't, no one's trying to deny is happening. But before you align yourself with the narrative that someone is building, I think it's just important to investigate it, the person and why they're building that narrative. Like you will not see Nick Shirley cover a bunch of the sort of rise of Nazism in ICE, let's say.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like, all right. So even if he covers something and he's completely right about it, let's see what this intention is, because I think that also the intention can be backtracked to like, what is he right about? So basically he showed up late to a story. That's actually what happened. This thing was already going through the proper channels of the American justice system, and this kid shows up late and then blows up the thing more. Like,
he amplified it to reinforce the narrative.
Exactly. And it's like, but the narrative isn't there was some fraud, we investigated, we found it, and the people are being held accountable.
Somali Americans.
The Somali Americans are stealing billions of your. Actually, you know.
Right? His narrative was never, hey, there is some fraud happening that was investigated under Trump's first term and that Biden administration continued and we got convictions on, and Trump is going to continue those investigations and hopefully those convictions, and we would love to see that. And I, as Nick Shirley, would also love to see some sort of reform or oversight. I would like to see more regulation. Oh, that's a word Republicans don't like. I would like to see more regulation in regards to how these funds are given out and who is overseeing them and who is auditing them, right? I would love to see that. No, what he did is said, there's some fraud. It is all the Somalis that are doing it. It is the Somalis. We need to go after the Somalis, and that's it. No new regulation, no oversight. It's the Somali population. His motives don't matter. His motives absolutely matter because his motives cause harm.
Why the price of bread went up? Somali Americans. You know why the price of gas is up? It's not Strait of Hormuz. It's not, no, Somali Americans. And
that, do you guys remember what it's been, maybe 20 minutes? Do you remember when somebody came into my YouTube chat and said that all the problems will be gone when we get rid of illegal immigrants? That's what Josh Johnson is saying. Because then they use it. They use it to control you. And I don't know when you're going to realize this. They use it to control you. You see this fraud? Do you see what the Somalis, even though it was a white woman who was the head of this ring of fraud, did you know that it was the Somalis that are keeping the food out of you and your children's mouth? Did you know that it's the Somalis who are increasing the price of gas? It's because they're here. That's the problem. It has always been like this. From the inception of this nation, we use the labor of the indigenous, of the enslaved black population, of the enslaved Chinese population in indentured servitude. We use their labor to build our country. And then we say it's their fault for the disease. It's their fault for a debunking of our nuclear family. Our families are falling apart because of them. Our culture is failing. Our crime is rising, even though none of these things are happening. It is fear-mongering to the highest degree. We have done it for forever. You guys will run out of people to fear-monger against. Wake the fuck up. Wake up. The rich are stealing from you in front of your face. It's not even behind your back anymore. It's in front of your fucking face. They are making so much money. Donald Trump did 2 rug pulls with crypto 2 days before he was inaugurated into office. That's illegal. He shouldn't be able to do that. He did a fucking pump and dump 2 days before he went into office. World Liberty Financial is doing deals all over the place with people that he has conversations with as a professional capacity as president. The fraud is right in your fucking face. But yeah, it's the Somalis.
So it's like, I think you just have to track that stuff. And I wish I could even articulate it a little bit better than I am now of like how important it is to track how narrative building happens, you know, because Nick Shirley isn't someone at the cutting edge. Nick Shirley is someone who shows up after the fact to like amplify the aspect of the racist thing that's true to make the whole racist narrative look true.
Yeah.
That's as much as I'm going to play on that. You can finish that in my Discord if you want. I will have it in the live outline. I also want to try and show real quick this CNN reporting, and then we'll get into Nick Shirley itself, because Nick Shirley is now not the only one. Nick Shirley, all he has done is highlighted an incentive structure that already existed on the right specifically to have young men come out and start harassing people to build a narrative that they already believe without factually based information. It is an incentive structure now to create a narrative. And that's what Josh Johnson was saying. The narratives are important, and they're creating them based off of confirmation bias.
We were making our way across the rainbow crosswalk, and he spotted us. He said, "Hey, can you do a few questions for CNN?"
Is your guys' son or daughter? Or
Son.
Awesome. And are you guys a couple?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Cool.
As soon as he asked the first question, we knew that
they weren't with CNN, that this was something different.
So, have you ever heard about the statistics coming out that gay men are statistically much more likely to commit child molestation?
No.
Where's the source on that? As you harass this gay couple in the street.
Well, and even any person who walks up to you with that statistic and doesn't have any factual information behind you should be a red flag for anyone. I'm not putting this couple at a bad place. I'm looking at mainly Trump supporters who will sit there and be like, yeah, he got them. It's no different than them talking about the childcare fraud that was happening in Minnesota and California when they were complaining about how people would not let them in. It's that simple.
Exactly, Kayla. It's a podcast bro pandemic. There has been this incentive structure now because people on the right will pay for it for you to go out and harass people with a bias narrative that you have in your head already. This is not investigation. This is just attack.
Ever heard about that before?
Crazy, yeah.
In that instant, I realized that we were manipulated into having this interaction with someone who was exploiting us for viral content.
So you had a surrogate? You paid a woman $50,000 to be pregnant and build an emotional connection to a baby? Hey, don't take my
New parents Anthony and David Vollen were approached in West Hollywood by someone they say was falsely claiming he was with CNN. The man then provoked the couple with a false statistic about gay men.
When someone inserts themselves into a specific community with the intention of triggering people, it's not freedom of expression, it's exploitation.
That someone is Riley Nemi.
What makes somebody a woman?
Fashioning himself as a MAGA influencer, he takes to college campuses and to the streets to create rage bait.
This got bent by a non-binary faculty member at UCLA, actually. It's on video. It's got millions of views.
I'm just trying to figure out like how much of this stuff is like you intentionally just trying to get a rise out of people, trying to create content versus like how serious you
I think it should be illegal
stuff.
to be transgender.
You think it what?
I think it should be illegal to become transgender in adults.
Nemi says he's motivated by politics, but what he is doing can also be...
How do you make an identity illegal? You're going to make it illegal to be a woman next? You're going to make it illegal to be gay next? Oh, wait, we already did that in this country. Shit. Damn. Maybe we're going to go back to that.
Profitable.
The rate at which my social media...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
If I saw him in the streets, could we come together and fundraise for me to have a bailout pay? I will tell you,
I'm crush him with my brain. I don't have to. That man would be simping for me so quickly.
I'm just saying, like, if I don't know how other people around the gay couple didn't want, I would have 110% decked that kid.
Video's growing. I could easily live off of it in probably 4 or 5 months from now.
What's your message for him and do you
And that's what it's about for him. Being able to live off of harassing people for how they live.
sort of have hope that he might change his ways maybe?
I don't really think this is about him. This isn't about one specific content creator. This is about an incentivized institution. This is about large platforms telling youthful audiences what works and not being held accountable.
Anthony, David, and their 3-month-old son, Ante, were swept up in Nemi's viral circus. Nemi says David Vollen assaulted him. The Vollen's lawyers say the couple was deliberately targeted with some of the most revolting hate speech imaginable, all on camera for clicks, adding, David Vollen did what any father would do and protected his family. The wrong person spent the night in jail.
I think that across the board, regardless of political identity, people need to...
Molotov cocktail, his belief of his worldview is irrelevant. His belief is irrelevant. He is causing harm in reality. His belief means nothing.
I just imagine Olive Supermaning in off camera taking him out.
I mean, grace to one another. People need to extend kindness to one another. Be nicer to themselves so that they can be nicer to other people.
And Kate, I think what this really shows is the nexus between how
as David Vullen mentioned there in that piece, how there's this incentive structure online for influencers or people to create rage bait to act in a way where certain behavior is essentially awarded by the algorithms and by the people who are liking and sharing this content. But obviously, as you can see, there are...
No, Molotov, because the things that I believe I can back with factually based information.
Can any Trump supporter over on the tomb name me one leftist content creator that goes out in the streets, harasses people?
I can name a couple. I'll be honest. I'll be fair.
In baseless information, though?
That's different. Not in well, I don't know. The good liars like to poke.
Well, I would say poking's different than actively
But they'll
using hate
say, sure, but they'll say false stuff to poke. We have to be honest about that. The good liars will do that. To be fair, their name is the good liars, but they will do that. Walter Masterson goes out and bugs people, but he uses factually based information to do so. So there is that difference.
I mean,
but we just have to be honest. It does happen.
No,
we don't get paid as much.
Well, and that's what I mean. Like, you know what? Here's an idea. Let me go stand in downtown Franklin with a sign that says white men are more likely to cause harm to women over any other Democrat.
Fact, yeah.
And let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Really real victims to this stuff. One thing worth mentioning that good that has come out of this is that the community in West Hollywood and actually beyond have got behind the Vullens. They've had a GoFundMe to set up to support their legal fund if anything comes out of this. So there really has been a rallying. But as you see there, that's just a couple trying to go about their lives in their neighborhoods with their 3-month-old son. And
all right, let's get to Nick Shirley. Nick Shirley's videos make me laugh. They are infuriating, and I get that, but they make me laugh because he is so not good at what he does. Like, he's really bad at it.
Huge W's in the chat over here to the TikTok. You guys got 152K likes as we've been sitting here. I know you guys can hit 200. If we can hit 200 by the time Nick Shirley is done talking, just picture your fingers are hitting Nick Shirley on the nose. And I'm going to make it very clear before I hear it on the YouTube, I am not advocating for violence. I want you to understand that. What I am advocating for is people to respond back to those stupid fucking questions. Because you bet your ass, if I overheard that shit from someone like whomever the fuck that little kid was or whatever his name was, I would have decked him. Because you don't talk to someone like that.
You just take the consequences. It's not like that's the difference, right?
All right, I was good. I didn't advocate for violence.
No, you didn't. I was here. I was listening. I would have come up sooner, but I had to jump right into cleaning up after the cats when I got home. Ah! 1 second.
Okay.
I'm over here trying to put on a hair tie to get my hair out of my way and knock off my Bluetooth. So that's what that just was. Sorry, guys. No, you mentioned this earlier when you were talking about taxes, and I wanted to come up then, but again,
life.
Duties and whatnot. Life. And just for those that didn't see the report this morning, there are reports that the Department of Justice is potentially going to seek a settlement with Donald Trump suing the IRS and the United States taxpayers for more than what he's worth, for a tune of $10 billion. And part of this supposed, it's not really confirmed, okay? It's people that have talked to people from the Department of Justice in the name of secrecy because they don't want to lose their jobs. They want to the Trump administration wants to carve out a section in this settlement that says they are immune from being audited. Just want to let you guys know that they are immune from being audited by the IRS. Him, his kids, anyone that uses the Trump name, the companies under his kids' names.
Molotov, I'm fine with diversity of thought if it's backed by fact and not fear-mongering, bigoted hatred. You can think different than me. Guess what? Actually, me and Ari think different from each other, and we're really close. Me and Olive think different from each other, and we're really close.
Monica's
Stop calling me. It's John.
Is it John?
Oh,
I hope John calls you guys.
You want both of us? Good luck.
I want to watch that. I'm excited.
No, he called last night into Jimmy's show. What are you talking about? I don't want to talk to him 2 days in a row.
Didn't he do it
That's
twice?
why I was like, no. So the system was all messed up last night, and it we got typed on the wrong person, that it was the same. It was John from Nebraska, but it wasn't. So it seemed like he called twice, but no, he didn't. But he did call yesterday.
John Patrick used the right use of your, and then maybe actually your incorrect use of your is more triggering than anything else that you do. You all block? No, capitalism got you. If you are that John from Nebraska, capitalism got you. You can call back tomorrow.
Or if you pay in, but John, specifically, you have to pay $50.
Yeah, you have to pay $50 and you can call back. All right. It's fine. I talked to Mia. I'm going to go over a little bit so that I can try and get through this segment with Nick Shirley. So let's debunk and laugh at Nick Shirley together. Let's do that.
What percentage of people do you think are suffering here in Cuba?
La mayoría. La mayoría.
What's your thoughts on communism? ¿Qué piensas de comunismo?
De lo más malo que ha existido en la vida es el comunismo. Porque realmente ninguno es comunista.
Oh! I love that. Do we even need to watch the other 30 minutes? Or did we just debunk his entire fucking thing right now?
He sat there with the guy who was telling him majority in is it Spanish?
Spanish.
Is it Spanish? I want to make sure it's Spanish.
It's Spanish.
Yeah.
Nick Shirley speaks Spanish.
Oh, does he? He looked at him and he looked like he didn't know what he said.
He speaks Spanish because he's a Mormon missionary. And they teach you to speak Spanish before they send you off.
Oh, yeah. He wears that special underwear.
Yes. So he speaks that. Okay, but he debunked himself right here. Communism is the worst because no one is a communist.
None of the gas stations are even in operation right now because there's quite literally no gas.
And we stand out like sore thumbs here, so they're wondering why we're here with cameras, interviewing people. They want to know what's happening and what people are saying. That's why people are not talking to us much.
They're asking why are we trying to leave the hotel early.
They want to talk to us.
I just want to tell you guys, somebody who watched this yesterday, we're going to get into some secret agent man to try to escape Cuba at the end of this.
Cuba right now is facing one of the largest
What'd you say, Audie?
Mercy.
humanitarian crisis in the world. Cuba's government is a one-party communist-ruled country, and they are facing massive...
I've seen you in here before. The reason you don't have to pay to call, but you never call. John has to pay to call because somebody paid for him to go away. And they paid me like $40. So he should have to pay $50 to make that worth it. You don't have to. He does. Or he can just wait to call back tomorrow.
Food shortages, daily blackouts, and a lack of medicine, and right now a U.S. blockade is restricting oil and gas from coming inside of the country.
Okay, so remember, the goal of Nick Shirley's video is to prove the perils of communism, that communism destroys countries, but already we are talking about the fact that, the U.S. has a blockade on gasoline into the country. Just remember that.
Communism and socialism on the rise in the West. I wanted to see what life in communism is really like firsthand, as Cuba has been living underneath communism for over 60 years. Upon arrival, I completed all required documents and had received a visa for journalistic activity. However, once I landed, all my camera gear was seized, and within 24 hours, I was planning my escape out of Cuba after their intelligence followed me all day and a 2-star general came searching for me at the hotel. Now let's go see the reality of Cuba and eventually plan our escape out of Cuba. Where are the people at? Don't they stop?
Plan our escape.
Yeah, makes it sound like so
funny.
It's if you want communism, don't visit Cuba.
It's funny. God, it's so funny.
No hay nadie aquí en la calle, no hay nadie aquí en estas casas. ¿Dónde está la gente?
The problem is that there's no gasoline. It's not easy to move. Anyway, we have a lot of limitation for work.
None of the gas stations are even in operation right now because there's quite literally no gas. When the United States captured Maduro, their main supplier of gas and oil was shut off. So the country right now has hardly any gas, and if you do want to get gas, you have to wait in a line from the government. The guy that we're in our taxi with right now, he said his position to get gas is $1,200 in line, and gas from the government costs around $1, but gas, if you were to buy it on the black market, costs $10 per liter.
So that was communism, or was that the United States interfering by taking over Venezuela's government?
Was that the blockade we put into place too?
Mm-hmm. But this was communism. This was communism's fault. They were getting oil illegally, technically, from Venezuela, because they weren't supposed to be, because of our blockade on them. But they were getting oil. And now they're not. Yeah, he's wasting their gas to spread misinformation. Yeah.
That's 100% true, Kayla. That's exactly what he's doing right now.
They were also getting oil from Russia, too.
Yes. Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Which, again, I'm not advocating for that, but also they are their own country. They can decide what to do, but that's not communism. That is us.
$40 per gallon if you're to buy gas here in Cuba.
I'm just going to say I'm surprised he speaks Spanish because he can barely speak English.
Captured Maduro, was there gasoline in the gas stations?
Always. It was easy. Nowadays it's really bad. But it was easy to get gasoline.
And for you
every day you can go to the gasoline station and buy it normally. It was normal.
Until we took Maduro from Venezuela. So not communism. Okay. RTP said yesterday, which I already knew before RTP played it. He's a Mormon. He went on missions. They teach you whatever country they're going to send you to. They're going to teach you the language so that you can indoctrinate them with Jesus.
But nowadays, it's really bad.
¿Y cómo está sobreviviendo la gente aquí en Cuba?
Just imagine the reality of it, with 1,000 sacrifices and 1,000 daily struggles.
I don't know who's translating for him, but I don't know why they're yelling.
The average Cuban citizen is the one really going through absolute hell here in this country.
It's so interesting being here in Cuba because everything is just like empty. It's almost very like North Korea-like when you come into a massive plaza and there's not even cars. Like, listen, right now you can't even hear a car in sight.
Hold on, I want you to hear what he says right here. Just English. It hurts my soul. Oh crap, where'd he go?
One really going through absolute hell.
North Korea-like when you come into a massive plaza and there's not even cars. Like, listen, right now you can't even hear a car in sight.
You can't hear a car in sight.
I knew
a car just passed by and a motorcycle just passed by.
You know,
I can't hear a car in sight, guys.
So
I mean, actually, hold on. Wait, hear me out. That was if you consider this, that was grammatically correct because he did not hear them and they were in his sight.
Well, you know, Ari, when I look with my ears, I try to make sure my eyes can hear a lot better. I was going to ask though, is that the same as like I can see with the eyes in the back of my head? Is that the same thing?
But also, of course, you're not going to see cars because there's no gas.
Am I going to upgrade my? I know what's wrong with it.
There you go. No gas in it. Thank you for calling the stream. Can you get your age, state, and who you voted for?
Luca, 19, New York City. Sorry, New York.
Who'd you vote for?
And Kamala Harris, but I've become more pro-Trump.
How?
Because I think the value of dismantling the imperial state through things like tariffs and weakening USD is actually net good in the long run.
But he's not actually doing that. He's not dismantling it. He's using tariffs to enrich himself and his friends. He's just using it for corruption. He's not actually dismantling it.
So I think the net impact of a reactionary right-wing party taking over will inevitably lead to the collapse of the U.S. imperial state.
That's an idea in theory, but who's gonna... If they have the power right now and then they have control of the military, who's going to be able to rise up against them?
No, it will collapse when inevitably the merging of corporate powers becomes so obvious that the investments from other countries and the reliance of other countries on the U.S. so painful that they would have to invest.
How is it painful on them?
How is it painful
on
to have
other
a
countries?
Volatile? Well, because their investments become less safe when the merging of corporate powers exists, because then the government regime becomes too corrupt to facilitate the types of trade deals and negotiations.
What if
that
they
would be
are also
valuable for
corrupt
long-
countries?
Sorry, what did you say?
What if they are also corrupt countries?
Well, in that case, the U.S. will drag them down as well. I think in the long run, some form of coalition will be forged from. Also, I think like climate change is a big part of this. I think when you're gonna see a restructuring of a lot of states just because of climate refugees. And I think that level of instability will cause the collapse of a lot of the imperial structure that exists. Things like migration from places that the U.S. relies on for produce and things like that, I think will cause a cultural shift.
And
that
people
is sort
will
of
get
inevitable.
hurt.
That's true, but I think people are already getting hurt. I think
They
in the long run,
are, but who gets hurt more? What kind of communities get hurt in that scenario?
I think the people who are getting hurt now it's sort of unavoidable because we're watching the conflict between like the neoliberal global economy and like basic human rights, and you're seeing that like in the home ground as well as in other places.
What do you want to
And I
see it
think,
get built back better as?
I would like for there to be some form of schism or fracturing in the United States. I'd like to return.
No.
to a
I
more
know that's
state-based-
yes, I know that's Revelations. What happens after Revelations?
After that, I would want some form of coalition, similar to maybe the EU in some model where we have an American coalition form.
And who's the leader that's going to bring that about?
Well, I think the leaders will emerge after the fact because, frankly, I don't think we're quite there yet. I think it's going to take arguably a little bit longer to watch the full collapse of the system. I think most likely it will happen, not necessarily like a full collapse, but something that will fracture aspects of the state system will happen in the next 2 decades, I would imagine.
Okay, cool. Why don't you lead them? I hate that shit. It'll happen. I believe that they will emerge. They will emerge victorious, and they will rise, and all the people will listen to them and follow them to the mount as they speak their sermon. And the leftist revolution will win.
Roar. Also, accelerationism is boring.
Also that. Anyway, back to Nick Shirley, as you all correctly have pointed out, in this parking lot.
And they have all of this other portraits of people and past leaders of Cuba, yet there's hardly anyone even here. It's
because you're in a fucking parking lot. There's nobody there because you're in a parking lot.
very strange here. They're saying that this is even more quiet than during COVID, during the pandemic. Less people are even leaving the streets than during the pandemic. That's how bad the crisis is right now. And the Cuban people simply just don't have money, and they also just do not have the resources like gasoline to be.
Oh, car. There's not a car. You can't hear a car in sight.
They'll go out and continue their normal lives right now.
We headed to a nearby hospital, and from this moment on,
taxi,
we noticed we were being
car.
followed by Cuban police and their intelligence. After the word got out, I was asking people about communism. Inside of a communist country, there's no such thing as freedom of speech or freedom of the press.
Huh? There's never been a communist country because, as we know, the definition of communism is a stateless, classless, moneyless society. At the very least, stateless and classless. So if they have a state governmental structure, it's not communist. Oh, wait, the people are going to tell him that. It's okay.
In fact, if you speak out against the current regime or against communism, your neighbor can then report you to an area inside of the neighborhood where the government or the police will then come after you.
Also, important to point out, there's no free speech, but him, as a fucking foreigner, can come to another country and film on a visa for, what was it again? Because he showed us at the very beginning. Journalistic purposes. He got a visa for journalism, but there's no free speech.
Give me that free speech, yo.
You, and you have the risk of being imprisoned for speaking out against the regime.
And what's the reality of living inside of communism? ¿Qué es la realidad de vivir en comunismo?
Son presidente todo. Son jefe todo.
El gobierno.
Hecho sí. Así que funciona.
Hay mucha gente que está muriendo. Por el comunismo.
Por eso mismo, porque no hay pastilla, no hay nada para darle a la gente.
Why is there no medicine? Why is there no medicine to give to the people? Could it be the U.S. blockade? Oh, yeah, it's us. Again, us. Not communism. It's the U.S. blockade. If communism is so bad, let it fail by itself. That's all I ask. Yes, his accent is atrocious. I can't.
Maybe he couldn't hear because his eyes weren't open all the way.
Could be that. There's no medicine because we're embargoing it. Does the government hoard it? Bad Bambi. I would like to see proof of that, but you probably, maybe. But then it's not communism, is it? That's capitalism.
No hay nada
And they're, yes, Mr. They're also leading questions.
para darle a la gente.
And what would be your last message to the people about living life in communism?
Bueno, el último mensaje que daré es que lo más malo que hay aquí en Cuba es el comunismo, que viven todo en comunismo. Eso es lo más malo que hay aquí en Cuba ahora mismo, el comunismo.
¿Y qué piensa ahora de su propio presidente, Canal?
Bueno, yo pienso que no tiene la capacidad para ser presidente, porque nos estamos muriendo de hambre. Si no trabajamos, nos morimos de hambre.
And do you believe that it's the responsibility of the government to give?
I want you guys to listen to this question and this answer very, very particularly as U.S. citizens.
Tiene la capacidad para ser presidente, porque nos estamos muriendo de hambre. Si no trabajamos, nos morimos de hambre.
And do you believe that
If we don't work, we die of hunger. Let's listen to this question and this answer.
it's the responsibility of the government to give food to the people? ¿Crees que es la responsabilidad del gobierno para dar comida a la gente?
Sí, porque son los jefes, tienen que abastecer al pueblo.
¿Qué piensa?
Oh! If you have hungry people, it's the job of your government to feed them. So shut the fuck up about SNAP. I don't want to hear it ever the fuck again. Okay? Okay. Just to be clear on that.
De lo que está haciendo Donald Trump con el aceite y con la gasolina, como no está dejando gasolina
Oh, Trump not letting oil and gas. Okay, again, where's the communism?
para entrar.
I cannot hear what he says. I have played it. When RTP played it, he played it 3 times. I listened to it. I rewinded it. I turned up the volume as best I could. I could not understand what he said. And I can't turn up the video any more than this. The only thing we got from a couple people in the chat was something like, if you want to respond, respond. Okay. I will play it again, and I'm going to mute up so that it's as quiet as I can be, because he speaks very fast. It's kind of mumbled, and I can't quite understand it. But I will play it right now.
Gasolina para entrar. See, like, people are very scared to answer.
I don't know what he says. I will play it one more time. I will mute up again to play it one more time. I don't know what he says.
See, like, people are very scared to answer, and even
Bring the natty. Hello.
Hola, everybody. So he said, para quien era la pregunta, tú la vas a responder o tú a mí. He basically said to him, for who was the question? For you or for me? Who's going to respond?
Oh.
That's why he looks at the guy next to him. Para quien era la pregunta, para ti o para mí, ¿quién le va a responder? That's what he was telling him. The thing is that my husband is Puerto Rican and he speaks fast, so any fast talk in Spanish, I know.
Yeah, because it's different with each country. The dialect is different and how they speak is different. And so I'm like, depends on where I am if I can pick it up. And it was very quiet. So I'm like, what the fuck did he say?
And it's very fast too. So when it's fast, you're like, huh? But yeah.
Como se dice?
Yeah, como se dice.
Bye.
Love you, Lenati.
Love you all. Bye.
But let's listen to what Nick Shirley is saying.
give questions and responses here because of
They're scared.
communism.
That's what it was.
And because when you say communism, when they say
asked
that
a
they control
clarifying
the
question.
food or they control the jobs, they also control the freedom of press here. So a lot of people aren't used to talking on camera. And
Are they paying them to talk? Again, didn't understand what he said, but he's doing this, which is like a universal symbol. He's like, am I getting like hello? The fuck?
Give me money.
See, like people are very scared to answer and even give questions and responses here because of communism, and because when you say communism, when they say that they control the food or they control the jobs, they also control the freedom of press here. So a lot of people aren't used to talking on camera. And ¿qué piensa eso de
que se cinga días canel? Que se cinga días canel.
Security had noticed that 2 random individuals had appeared while we were doing these interviews, and they decided it was time to leave.
Security.
They want, I can't, and this is the problem that I have with Nick Shirley's journalism. He cuts off the camera at points, and they're not honest about the things they do. I would bet anything that he talked to these people beforehand and said, we will pay you money to talk about how bad communism is, and we will pay you money to say fuck off to your president. Bet you anything. Because his friends looked at him like, what are we doing? Okay, this is how we're getting the money? I don't know.
What happened while we were conducting some of those interviews?
Right now, while we were finishing one of the interviews, some undercover cops, you could just tell they're undercover cops. They came out of nowhere.
How can you tell?
They came out of nowhere.
They got on better used phones than the average person here, and they were right away communicating with each other, and they were trying to corner us out, so that's why we had to get out of there.
So you do have government spies going around making sure that certain things aren't said.
Of course, and we stand out like sore thumbs here, so they're wondering why we're here with
People go to Cuba. This is not...
cameras, interviewing people. They want to know what's happening and what people are saying. That's why people are not talking to us much.
That's also why you don't ever see any videos come out of Cuba.
That's 100% why you don't see videos come out of Cuba. It's very limited, the videos that you see come out of Cuba, because they control.
They had t-shirts that said undercover. Are you sure, Blue, that it wasn't the FBI ones, Federal Boob Inspector? Because that's what I wear when I'm undercover. Spy dolphins.
No.
Control everything.
We headed into downtown Havana with the hopes that we'd shake off the 2 spies that were telling us. And I want you to notice the pure decay here. The streets and the buildings look like they're about to fall apart.
We have had an embargo on them for 60 fucking years. They cannot get goods into the country, you asshat.
And this is due to 50 years.
No, actually, Bad Bambi, I am not fighting to keep the standard of living the same in Cuba. I am fighting for us to lift the fucking embargo so that they can get goods back into their country and they can trade with the rest of the world. That's what I'm advocating for. You guys are advocating for this. Donald Trump is the one who is blockading their gas and oil right now.
There's no innovation inside of a communist country. We then went into one of the local markets to exchange some cash for some Cuban pesos.
And here in Cuba, their inflation has hit really hard here, so their peso does not really go that far, so the dollar does go a lot farther here. In fact, the average salary of someone here for the month is $14 USD. So right now we're exchanging here on the streets of Cuba, and you get a lot better price for your dollar versus if you were to do it at the airport here in Cuba.
I hope he got fucking scammed.
Would you say life is here?
I feel like that's not right. I'm about to fact check that. Also, if anybody wants to check it out, the live is scheduled for tonight on my page.
I'm so excited.
So if you guys want to go on the tubes and already go hit that thumbs up, that'd be cool.
Cuba.
La situación está mala.
What do you think is going to happen with the future of Cuba?
Ustedes que vengan para acá.
¿Crees que los Estados Unidos van a tomar Cuba?
Claro que sí. Claro, tú ven para acá.
¿Y te gustaría que los Estados Unidos toman Cuba?
Claro que sí.
¿Y por qué?
Porque que vengan, esto aquí está malo.
Because they see TV and they see movies that talk about the American dream, and they don't know that there are starving people in America, and they don't know that you guys are perfectly fine with people starving because you think they didn't work hard enough. It's not going to get better for them. It'll just be more poor people for you to hate. That's all.
Oh, wow. That's actually insane. Okay, so apparently because I didn't go to Facebook because that was the first thing that popped up, but apparently their hourly rate is like 3 cents.
It's fucking terrible.
Yeah, but that's for hours. But so the average salary in Cuban pesos a month is 6,649, which means that they actually make $277 a month for us. So he's way wrong.
Way off. Bambi.
That's insane.
You said we embargoed them because the corrupt leaders were hoarding the aid and wealth, and this is helping. That was 60 years ago. They're still hoarding the aid and wealth now, and our sanctions are helping them. How? So the people in charge are hoarding the aid and the wealth, and so our solution to fix that is to withhold aid and wealth. They're starving them, but we're going to starve them even better. Make that make sense. Also, G, I don't know how to say your name and I apologize, G Images. You said Obama lifted a lot of restrictions on Cuba in his second term, including travel from Miami. You're not sure if that's still going on. It's not. Trump rescinded a lot of that.
Claro, para trabajar con ustedes.
What's your opinion about communism?
El comunismo es malo.
And why is it bad? ¿Por qué está mal?
No está malo, no hay comida aquí.
¿Qué fue el cambio después de Maduro fue capturado?
No me ataques.
No. Yeah, they can't talk about it. It's kind of interesting asking about these political situations that you could talk about in the United States completely freely, but a lot of people are timid, and you have to respect that because you don't want to put them in a bad situation. But people are very timid.
They're obviously not timid. She just yelled at you from walking by. They're not that timid.
To talk about stuff politically here in the streets of Cuba. I mean, look at this one. You have coming down the street right here. This is just normal here in Cuba.
In
it's
downtown
weird.
Havana.
The reason for the old...
What's that? That's a modern bus. Oh no, what were the other cars that I showed? Modern cars. It's downtown Havana. You're going to see a lot more of these cars.
Cars here in Cuba is because in 1959 is when communism took effect, and the United States then later put an embargo on Cuba, which stopped...
That's why. It's not the communism. It's the embargo. He keeps getting so close to the point every single time and going like this.
New companies from working with Cuba, so all they had left was cars from the 1950s and earlier. Innovation tends not to take place in communism because there's no incentive for an entrepreneur.
No, this is not innovation. This is embargo. You just explained it. He explained it. You cannot trade. You cannot import cars from other countries, so you're not getting new stock. And now you're going to try and twist that and say it's because of communism. That's the dumbest shit I ever heard.
Communism doesn't exist, bruh.
Not if you have money in a state.
To go out and create something because he'll receive no benefit because the state or the country.
What manufacturing capabilities do they have in Cuba after what we've done to them? Stupid.
The government controls what goes in and out, and also how much money you take from that underneath communism. So it completely kills entrepreneurship, which then kills innovation, and then you come up with a stagnant society like this one here in Cuba, where they have not developed any much further than since around the 1950s. All these buildings here are still standing from the 1950s, but they have not innovated, or there's nothing new here inside of this country. It's actually kind of sad to see.
That's a very well taken care of Jeep.
This man right here will explain just how dangerous it is to speak out against communism inside of a communist country.
How's life in communism? ¿Qué es la realidad? What's the reality of it?
El comunismo. Ya. Esa parte ahí no te puedo contestar esa parte porque no sé qué decirte.
La gente aquí, the people here, no pueden hablar sobre el comunismo o hablar en contra del comunismo.
Aquí tú hablas en contra del comunismo y te meten preso.
Mia, you can come up if you want to comment too. I know, I'm sorry, I'm taking your time a little bit.
Desaparecen. Lo que pasa es que la gente tiene miedo a hablar. Pero aquí tú hablas y te desapareces.
So if you speak bad about communism here in Cuba, you'll be taken to prison and you'll just disappear.
Te pueden meter días preso. ¿Me entiendes? Te dan golpe y todo.
¿Es imposible para hablar sobre el comunismo?
No tengo nada que decir.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is what's super interesting about talking about communism. They cannot speak bad about communism.
That's not what she said. She didn't say. She didn't say she can't.
I'm just confused why he's not blurring everyone's faces. Like, he's selectively blurring faces.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, he got some releases signed, but not... Because then there's a lady later... So there's the guy he's going to show that has his face blurred, and there's a lady that shows up who says she doesn't want to be on camera, but her face isn't blurred. So I'm very confused. She said, I have nothing to say. Right. She didn't say I can't say anything. She said, I have nothing to say about it.
Here inside of Cuba.
And because of the lack of oil inside the country, there's constant blackouts that are taking place
Because
each
of us.
and every single day
Okay.
inside of Cuba. It's even affecting the education of the children. In fact, right now, inside of Cuba, the main university, the university that Fidel Castro attended, is currently shut down. And so right now, the children and the university students of Cuba are having a hard time getting education.
This is the National University of Cuba. I mean, this is a huge stadium they have. Tons of seats, a track, and a football pitch, but
He doesn't
it's
know what it's
all
called.
just
He
has
didn't think
not
about
been
it.
maintained whatsoever. Just the vents are all rusting and eroding. ¿Qué tal la vida aquí en Cuba? How's life here in Cuba?
Talking to children again, by the way, just so we're aware. Creepy men talking to talking to children again.
Without blurring a child's face, that's fucked.
What would you say the biggest problem is? ¿Qué diría que es el problema más grande para un joven? ¿Cuántas veces al día se cortan la luz? How many times a day do they cut out the lights?
Casi todos los días, de cualquier hora. A cualquier hora.
Yeah, how do you live through that as a young child? ¿Cómo se vive eso mientras que está un joven?
No muy bien.
What did he say the university was called? Is it Havana University?
I don't remember.
Shit. What did he fucking say?
Vanatti, nuh-uh.
The main university, the university that Fidel Castro attended, is currently shut down. And so right now, the children and the university students of Cuba are having a hard time getting education.
This is the National University of Cuba. I mean, this is a huge stadium they have. Tons of seats, a track, and a football pitch, but it's all just has not been maintained whatsoever. Just the vents are all rusting and eroding. ¿Qué tal la vida aquí en Cuba? How's life here in Cuba?
That's not, yeah, it's not called the National University of Cuba. It's called the University of Havana, and it's not shut down. They have drastically reduced the in-person classes because of blackouts and fuel issues. Students even staged a sit-in March 9th of this year as Cuba's energy crisis / classes. Yeah, that's the building right there. Why does he lie? Student stage a sit-in. That's the building he showed. An impromptu sit-in protest at the steps of Havana University on Monday drew a small group of students concerned about their education amid an energy crisis worsened by a U.S. blockade of the island, which has reduced classes and is paralyzing the country. Oof. Oof, Nick. Oof.
Más o menos, no tan bien. Hay problemas de transporte y eso, pero...
What would you say the biggest problem is? ¿Qué diría que es el problema más grande para un joven?
El problema grande que hay en Cuba aquí es la luz.
Also,
¿Cuántas veces al día se cortan la luz?
since, well, this part already played, but the University of Havana ranks between 801 and 850 out of the entire world, and there's somewhere between, so we'll just give you a round number, about 22,000 universities in the world. It's pretty good on education.
You want me
Like,
to show
that
the
also
homes of
doesn't-
Cuba's government members? Sure. That's fine.
Oh,
I'm not glazing the government.
Which also means that they rank higher than a good majority of our public institutions for universities, because we have over 4,000. So
he lives in the palace of the revolution. Yeah, I'm not saying to keep enriching him, but this embargo isn't helping the people.
it's not helping. What?
If the president is hurting the people, I agree with you. The president is hurting the people. How is us doing this helping? How's this helping?
How many times a day do they
Because
cut
I
out the
wanna.
lights?
Casi todos los días, de cualquier hora.
But when those Cubans start coming here, look out.
Yeah, how do you live through that as a young child? ¿Cómo se vive eso mientras que está un joven?
No muy bien. El tema de la luz, además del estudio y todo. Muy bien.
So the lights are affecting your entire life. Entonces los luces están afectando toda tu vida.
Cuando viene, a veces no viene más hasta por la mañana, o la quitan general en Cuba entera. Y bueno.
We left the university and did the most touristy thing we could do, and that was to hop into a 1950 Chevrolet and tour the city of Havana with one of the local guides. We did this in the hopes that we would have less people following us. However, it just brought even more attention to us when we got back to the hotel.
And how come here you guys still use old cars from the night?
You're in a bright pink Chevrolet with a bunch of camera equipment.
He went to another country and it needs more flair on it now. Duh.
Porque estos son coches tradicionales antes del triunfo de la revolución. Coches del 50, del 59 y quedó de patrimonio de la humanidad y trabajamos para una agencia del gobierno.
So you guys work for the government still?
Del gobierno. Trabajamos para el gobierno.
And this is kind of a random question, but do you know what a Tesla is? ¿Sabe qué es una Tesla?
No.
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 ¿Nunca he escuchado de un auto que se llama un Tesla?
No.
No. BMW?
Tampoco.
Right now on Polymarket, there's a 45% chance that there's...
He got to get the ad in because he's paid by Polymarket, as we saw in his video in California. We got to get the advertisement in. Good job. Good job.
We want to push to see if we can get sponsored by, like, I don't fucking know, Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood's crazy.
I mean, I don't know. I want to do an ad.
No. How? They need money to help people. No, we don't know.
Who could we... I'll look
I
up.
told you, George Soros sponsors me.
Wonder Bread.
Wonder Bread.
Clash between the U.S. military and the Cuban military. Do you think there will be a clash with the two militaries in 2026?
Bueno, eso es lo que pensamos muchos cubanos. Eso es lo que pensamos muchos cubanos porque queremos la mejoría de nuestro país. Para los niños en las escuelas, los hospitales, las casas, los barrios humildes, que tengan una mejoría, ¿me entiendes?
So do you think it would be good if there was some intervention between the two militaries?
Sí, pienso que sí. Pienso que sí. Nosotros lo que queremos es tener la tranquilidad.
¿Qué piensa pasaría? What do you think would happen in that war?
Bueno, no pienso que sea una guerra en total. Pienso que sea una mejoría para el pueblo. Para el pueblo, que es lo que queremos, una mejoría.
Okay,
Because what's happened here in Cuba has not...
Well, I was going to say something. Oh, I know. Well, everybody, let's just go be sponsored by AI-generated news. If you haven't watched my recent video, please go watch it and figure out why. They're supporting AI-generated news.
That
Do what?
sent me
geez.
so far off the bed, and I'm like, how stupid.
And she doubled down in the comments.
Oh,
so
guys,
I encourage
look.
everybody to go roast.
Hold on, I gotta take it off of the screen for a second.
AI-generated news.
Thank you, George Soros. You said you're on your alt account, but that you still sponsor me. Thank you, George. We love you, George Soros. Our overlord. Thank you for the 10. Thank you.
Wonder Bread sponsor.
Okay, I dropped down. Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
Have a
See you
good rest of your
tonight.
day.
Okay, we keep going.
I want sponsor now.
Sponsor.
It's bullshit.
It's been good for the general public.
No está pasando bien. No está pasando, no la estamos pasando bien. No es normal que tengamos muchos problemas económicos.
And what do the people of Cuba think about Donald Trump and Marco Rubio?
Bueno, no te puedo decir exactamente qué piensan las personas porque cada cual tiene sus distintos pensamientos. Pero bueno, si es para bien para el pueblo y para nosotros los cubanos, que para bien sea.
He asked him, what do Cubans think of Trump and Rubio? And he said, I can't speak for everyone, but let it be if it's good. So he spoke for himself. Remember that.
Do you think it's necessary for change to happen here in Cuba? ¿Cree que es necesario que hay cambios aquí?
Sí, pienso que sí. Pienso que sí, muchos años, no sé, y todo el pueblo quiere que cambie la cosa.
And what would you say the reality of communism is?
Bueno, la realidad del comunismo, unos sí, otros no. Y pienso que el comunismo sea todos iguales.
But communism... They debunk their own points. The communism that they're living under, he just said, is one is high and one is low. And then he just said, but communism is supposed to help everybody.
Sí, pienso que sí. Pienso que sí, muchos años, No sé, y todo el pueblo quiere que cambie la cosa.
And what would you say the reality of communism is?
Bueno, la realidad del comunismo, unos sí, otros no. Y pienso que
Communism should make everyone equal. You're right.
el comunismo sea todos iguales. No unos sí y otros no. Tiene que ser todo parejo.
And it's not like that. No, es así.
Y no es así.
No,
right now, they say
communism.
7 out of 10 people here in Cuba are going without their necessary meals here. Would you say that's true?
Es real, es real. Ahora mismo tenemos muchos problemas con el alimento. El aceite, el arroz, los frijoles, la carne, el pollo. Muchos problemas.
Trump's not oppressing the leadership of Cuba. He's oppressing the people. Bambi. How has this helped them? How does this help the people, Bambi?
Todo se está yendo para las VIPymes y todo el mundo no tiene la misma posibilidad de presupuesto para poder comprar los alimentos.
And was this happening before the blockade, or is this just now happening?
Sí, sí, pienso que sí.
So it's not new that this is happening?
No es nuevo, no es nuevo, no es nuevo.
Because this blockade is specific, whereas the embargo has still been on for the last 60 years. You fuckwit.
For how many years have the people of Cuba been suffering?
Bueno, pienso que hace rato ya, pienso que hace tiempo ya que el pueblo está sufriendo por el tema del alimento y muchas cosas que el pueblo sufre, que no se expresa porque tenemos miedo de la libertad de expresión. Porque algunas veces podemos expresar algo que no nos puedan entender y nos perjudica, ¿me entiendes? Por eso es que hay muchas personas que no hablan.
Yeah, food problems is a communist country thing. We have people starving here. It's a capitalism thing.
And that's something I have noticed when we have been talking to people is a lot of people are scared to talk about the current situation here in Cuba because of communism.
Don't want to talk to
Hay muchas
you.
personas que no quieren expresar lo que sienten porque tienen miedo a cualquier tipo de situación, a que puedan ir presos, a que le puedan quitar las casas, a muchas cosas como ha pasado, que hay personas que han expresado lo que sienten y han tenido problemas con el gobierno.
And how much does it cost right now for gas?
Ahora tenemos $10 un litro de gasolina y la estamos comprando en mercado negro.
And how much?
Ahora mira, no hay gasolina en ningún cupé. Por eso es que ha subido los impuestos y ha subido todo por el tema del petróleo y la gasolina.
What would be your message to all the people in the world about what's actually happening here in Cuba?
Queremos una mejoría, necesitamos una mejoría para que el pueblo esté bien.
And this is where things began to get really weird. As we arrived back to the hotel, this man began following us. He was all alone and he kept moving as we moved. Security noticed him telling us. We played it cool and left the hotel a few
Do you have any other pictures of him following you or just him walking on that path? No?
hours later, and after one interview on the street, we caught the web of spies following and monitoring everything I was doing as this man exposed the raw reality of Cuba unfiltered.
What happens at nighttime here in Cuba?
No,
¿Qué pasa aquí en la noche?
En la noche tú la ves vacía, que no hay nada. No hay nada.
There's nothing.
No hay diversión, no hay nada, no hay luz, no hay agua, no hay nada.
Sounds like some of the, besides obviously no power, no water, there's power and water, but it does sound similar to some of the cities that I lived in Arizona, because they were elderly cities and that shit shut the fuck down. Like the buses stopped running after like 7 p.m. Like the shit shuts down. There is nothing. There's certain places that are like that here, but yeah, sure. Yeah, zoom in on one random guy walking across the street.
No hay comida, no hay medicamento, no hay nada. Yo no sé hasta cuándo vamos a seguir así.
Would you like the United States to come in and have military intervention here?
Claro, para salir de esta situación. Por supuesto. Para salir de esta historia.
What is the situation right now?
Que no hay nada, no tenemos luz, no tenemos comida, no tenemos medicamentos, no tenemos la primera necesidad de un hospital. No hay nada, no tenemos nada.
That's true.
No hay un ser humano que pueda vivir así. Es demasiado.
And what would be your message to the rest of the world about the realities of what's happening here in Cuba? ¿Cuál sería su mensaje a todo el mundo de la realidad de lo que está pasando aquí en Cuba?
Te estoy diciendo cuál es la verdad. El que te diga algo que no sea lo que yo te estoy diciendo es porque tiene miedo. Pero es lo que está pasando todo el mundo. Mira, mira esa vieja a mí. ¿Dónde está? Con el perro pidiendo comida. Mírala ahí. A todo el mundo. Que no tiene acá. Mírala ahí. Mírala ahí.
Oh, so we're going to go up to this lady. Is she from the web of spies? Because that's who you zoomed in on earlier.
Mira ahí. Mira. Ven, mira ahí. Pregúntale ahí.
Oh, I thought she was a
Hola,
spy.
señora.
I guess she's not a spy.
todo lo que tú
That's
estás
interesting.
pasando.
Pero no sin video.
Sí, la gente no quiere. The people do not want
Pero
the video.
ese es el problema, que la gente no quiere video. Porque la meten presa. Ese es el problema. El problema es que nos meten preso cuando salten por video. Si ahora tú publicas ese video, ahora si tú publicas ese video, yo voy preso.
Vamos preso.
Preso. Vamos por eso.
What's your thoughts on communism? ¿Qué piensas de comunismo?
Listen.
Lo más malo que ha existido en la vida. De lo más malo que ha existido en la vida ha sido el comunismo. Porque realmente.
Because in reality, none of them is a communist. I'm glad we got there. I'm glad it took Nick Shirley this long to realize. Communism is the worst because this isn't communism. If Nick Shirley went to North Korea, if he was allowed, right? You're definitely not allowed to go there. If you were allowed to go to North Korea and film openly and openly speak to the people, I know, it's R. I just repeated what he said in the caption, which is insane. He could have done the caption correctly if they wrote the caption purposefully incorrect in English. If you go to North Korea, the North Korean people live under the Democratic Republic of North Korea. They live under what they're called a democracy. Do you think those people would speak well on democracy? Because I don't. So of course he's going to say communism is bad. But he also clarifies that this is not communism.
Ninguno es comunista.
What do you mean by that? Ninguna
Lo
es
que hacen
comunista.
es enriquecerse y explotar al pueblo. Es lo único que hacen.
¿Qué significa eso para ti? Como no hay ninguna comunista. Como que.
No. Porque no hay. Eso no existe. El comunismo es la igualdad del hombre por el hombre. Aquí eso no existe.
Communism, the equality for man, doesn't exist here. Why? Because they're not doing communism.
Aquí eso no existe. Todos ellos son los que tienen todo. Ellos tienen luz, ellos tienen los mejores carros del año pisteando, ellos tienen petróleo, ellos tienen gasolina, ellos tienen todo. Y el pueblo no tiene nada. Y las mayores bipimis son de ellos.
¿Y por qué piensa que gente defiende el comunismo cuando hemos visto que no funciona?
No funciona. El que defiende el comunismo.
I don't know if Cuba calls itself communist. I know that it's the Communist Party that is in charge of the government, which doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Nada más que tiene que ser la familia Castro o alguien que le tenga miedo o alguien que vive
We are all free. We are a constitutional republic, which is a form of democracy, you fuckwit. I'm so sick of y'all. We are a constitutional republic with a representative democracy.
Del gobierno que se enriquece de esa dictadura.
And right now in the United States, a lot of people think that communism and socialism is the way to go. What would be your message to them? Because they think capitalism has failed them. Mucha gente en los Estados Unidos ahora creen que comunismo y socialismo es la manera de donde deberíamos ir.
No.
¿Por qué?
Eso es lo peor.
¿Qué sería su mensaje a ellos?
Lo peor que existieran, lo peor que tú puedas hacer en la vida es pasar al socialismo, al comunismo, porque es la gran mierda. No existe el que te vea la miseria, a la obstinación, al hambre, a la hostigación, a todo. Fíjate.
As opposed to capitalism, which leads to hunger.
Que nada de lo que tú puedas.
Cuba refers to itself as a republic. Thank you, Blue.
Nada del salario, nada más te alcanza para comprar una botella de aceite. ¿Cómo tú crees que tú puedes vivir así? ¿Cómo tú puedes vivir con una libreta de razonamiento que nada más que te dan 3 libras de azúcar y una de sal? Y ya, y cada 15, cada 4, 6 meses, 7 años, te dan una posta de pollo o un huevo. El huevo no viene hace un año. Hace un año que no viene el huevo.
Imagínate. Desde que no ha tomado un huevo.
El huevo tienes que comprarlo. El huevo tienes que comprarlo por la calle en las bipimis.
I don't know what's going on here, but there's a man on top of the bulldozer.
Pero el estado, la libreta, ya no te viene nada. Yo no sé qué significa la libreta, porque ya no viene nada. La remesa que ustedes dan, la ayuda, nos las venden a nosotros después.
There's the corruption that I agree with you about. there is corruption, that they hoard this aid. How does us withholding it help the people? Again, I am waiting for that answer that I have not gotten in the chat. You want to squeeze the government. I totally understand that. I'm with you. How do we do that? By squeezing the people. You want to make them suffer enough to what? Revolt? Oh, that works well.
La ayuda nunca viene al pueblo. Lo que tú traes nunca viene al pueblo. Esa gente que viene, que están trayendo toda esa ayuda tú no la ves. Yo no sé dónde él la entrega, pero esa ayuda tú no la ves.
¿Y qué sería su mensaje a Donald Trump y Marco Rubio?
Donald Trump y Marco Rubio, estoy esperando por ustedes, por favor, para ver si podemos vivir como personas, vivir como ser humano, tener las primeras necesidades como vive un ser humano, porque estamos viviendo peor que los animales.
And we are blockading their necessities.
Peor que los animales estamos viviendo.
Right, yeah. Where's the web of spies that would keep him from revealing this information? Where are they? Where's the government? It's disgusting. It's exploitation. It's disgusting.
¿Cree que sería bueno que los Estados Unidos ayuden?
Claro, por supuesto. Todo el mundo está esperando la intervención.
They don't
la
know
intervención
what
porque la
help
gente
means.
piensa que la intervención que van a matar a la gente, no. Ya ellos saben los puntos claves, que saben que hay el comité central, que hay el punto cero, que sabe, todo el mundo sabe dónde están los catos. Ellos saben dónde están los catos.
¿Qué es un buen sueldo aquí en Cuba?
¿Y este?
Ahí está.
Can you guys can't flip to show the person filming you?
Wow.
Where are they?
And
Can
film
you
that,
turn
that
the...
lady, get a shot of her. Wow. And la última pregunta.
Or maybe...
This lady had spawned out of nowhere and began
She spawned out of nowhere? Maybe she just walked across the street.
spying on us. For instance, look at it. She comes into frame right here, and then she hides behind the lamppost, and then all of a sudden she starts filming us, and then when she goes to the other side of the lamppost, she then begins to act like she's on a phone call. However, she continues to point her camera towards our direction. The guy I'm interviewing...
Yeah, because she sees a white man speaking to this black Cuban. And she wants to make sure you're probably not exploiting her people. You think that she's part of the spy network? That's what it is.
then notices that she's filming us. He goes and confronts her, and she runs to the other side of the street. She then turns the corner, and my security guard follows her to see where she goes.
Oh, lovely. You send a man to follow the woman. Cool, 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 cool.
And who does she meet up with? She meets up with the man who was...
Can you show me that? Your security guy didn't take a picture of them meeting by chance, did he? Because I would love to see that, Nick Shirley. If she meets up with this guy who was supposedly following you, your security detail surely has a phone with recording on it to be able to take a picture of them meeting, right? She manages the spy dolphins. Where's that?
following us inside of the hotel. And after we had confirmed...
Oh, he didn't take a picture of them meeting up? We didn't get that? Oh, okay.
that we
She runs across the street, shows her walking in a normal pace. Yeah,
being followed by Cuban intelligence, and their spies were spying.
It's gonna get weird now. It wasn't weird enough and manipulative enough and bullshit enough before. Remember, we watched Josh Johnson explain with perfection exactly what Nick Shirley does. He has a narrative in his head. He's really fucking bad at it because all he has proven is that the U.S. embargo and blockade has helped to continue to squeeze and starve the people of Cuba. But he has a narrative in his head he wants to emulate. This is not independent journalism. This is confirmation bias. This is filming with confirmation bias. But if it wasn't fucking weird enough, he has to pretend to be chased out.
On us, we hurried back up to our hotel room and made a plan to escape Cuba.
She makes her way through the woods to him, and then he goes, no, like saying, don't sit here. Boom, sits there.
And you didn't take a picture?
So they're together, 100%.
What's this phone? Does phone not have camera access?
Come back to the hotel, buddy's there. They're 100% watching us.
Right.
Option 2 is, there's no more flights out today. They're 100% on to us.
So you think we gotta leave tomorrow morning?
If we're gonna deal with the pressure at one point, which I think we're going to anyways, we do it trying to leave early, at the airport where there's public eyes. We're in Cuba, we're in Comitown. So this is a different ballgame for all of us.
Think we can get a boat tonight?
I was thinking about making a call to see if we were to do that, how far would the U.S. Coast Guard
can hear the
need us to
peacocks.
There are problems now. Yeah. So good news and bad news is,
This is literally the North Korea of Latin America, and we have.
Except it's not because you got a visa to travel there, you dumb fuck. You can leave. You can't go to North Korea. You can't even go there.
This is the North Korean of Latin America.
Except it's not, because you were able to get a visa for journalism to go there. They knew you were going to be here doing journalism. What the fuck do you mean?
Also, he needs a new nose.
Don't tell him that he'll get one.
100%, we're not there. I'm 100% convinced. But if we
He needs to wash his face. That's probably what it is.
They're going to say, hey, they just took off. They're going to shut this whole bitch down looking for us.
And to make things even worse, Cuba was having their May Day march just outside our hotel in the morning. So all around the hotel, military and Cuba government.
So maybe they're not following you. Maybe they're set up there already because there's going to be a fucking protest for May Day. Maybe it's that. Because I damn sure knew we had cops in our city and in cities across America because we also had May Day protests. So maybe you're not fucking being followed. You went there during a time they're having protests. Maybe it was just that.
Was surrounding the
Yeah, if they want to jail you, they will. If it's the North Korea of Latin America, they'll just arrest you.
hotel, protecting the
Fucking
streets
wild.
for the march the next morning.
My thoughts. So tomorrow they're gonna have the march for the May 1st march. 8 a.m. They're too occupied doing this march thing.
We took a bit of a risky move and headed down to the lobby to act as if we had no idea they were spying on us and act very casual.
Hi, Hector.
Hi,
He
Greg.
looks so fearful. He looks so concerned that he will not be able to return to the United States. He looks so concerned. I actually fucking hate this kid. I fucking
Legitimately.
hate this kid.
Mhm.
He is a horrible, degenerate waste of fucking air.
Yep.
And the way you go over there and you're maliciously just fucking using these people for clickbait, and it's fucking stupid because when they think of communism, obviously they're going to look to their government. But it's funny how every single fucking one of them at that point was like, this isn't communism.
Every
And he
single
kept
fucking
going back
one.
to communism. Every fucking one. God, this is fucking infuriating.
Hector, they could be a part of the web of
spies.
We just don't know because Nick Shirley can't really hear well with his eyes and he can't see well with his ears.
Oh yeah, how are they
It's
having a
always-
march without free speech? You're right, Mia.
He'll always allege something and then never show it.
Mhm.
Like you always say something, then he'll show something else to like solidify what he said. But then what he showed doesn't solidify what he said. And then he's like, journalism. It's just fucking independent
Also-
journalists for stupid people.
Real quick, huge W's for the 200K likes over here on TikTok.
W, you guys, thank you so much. Appreciate it. You know what you get for that? You get one of my lovely, lovely sounds for that. Let's do. You get a couple. We'll do two. Hold on, I gotta go find them again.
Glizzy.
You get that one, and you can also have this one.
Yeah! I just got hard.
I do love it when you
You
guys.
should have played I Just Got Hard first and then the Glizzy.
Hey, yo.
Have you not heard all these wonderful sounds?
No, probably not.
No.
I have not actually.
I say things, and then my community bullies me by capturing them in sound form forever. So that's
And then they're forever on my soundboard.
Do the chickie. I gotta do the chickie. Which one? This one.
Chickie's in my house.
Because Chickie was in my house.
He's in my house.
You got to get Cheeky to purr and then record it and put it on the soundbite.
And she's done it so many times.
He's not going to put it on the soundboard. Monty's just going to keep it for herself, and that's not fair.
All right, let's see how they act casual. What does acting casual in Cuba look like?
So security puffed on some Cuban cigars. I drank some water. Security chatted up with some of the people working at
Oh, that's how. Smoke on some Cuban cigars, drink some water. They'll never suspect me. Ever.
How's the background noise?
It's okay. Yes! Get it! Eli,
clip it!
Eli, clip it. Somebody
Bomba
clip
clad! You gotta go. There's a lot of soldiers here.
The hotel, and then we went back upstairs and barricaded ourselves into the hotel room for the night. And then at 4 a.m.
They barricaded themselves into the room.
Barricading by putting a fucking
chair up against it.
we made our attempt to escape the hotel.
Alright, 4 a.m. now. We're in the elevator.
I told you it gets weird. I'm so sorry.
And we're making our way out. Right now, the people are gathering out on the streets. We have one of the security guards down the bottom making sure that it's clear for us to walk out of the lobby right now. And now we're heading out, getting on a taxi, and making our way to the airport as fast as possible.
One of the security guards was stopped by someone at the hotel as she asked why we are leaving the hotel early.
You weren't stopped. You had to check out because you're checking out early out of your reservation. And like most hotels, when you check out early, they want to know why to make sure they don't get a bad review. You weren't stopped. You had to check out. This is fucking clown shit. The fact that you guys glazed this fucking kid, it's wild.
Whenever I check out of a hotel now, I'm gonna make sure everyone knows they had to like make sure they stopped me before I did, and I don't know why.
I said I'm filming a parody trip, so me and my family are supposed to road trip to San Diego this year. They're gonna stop me.
Do it. No, for real, do it.
See how many clips I get. Yeah, they stopped him from behind a counter with plastic in between it.
And she would not let us leave. They were stalling for some reason, and then when we did try to make it out to go get a taxi, the guy barely let us out the door, and then when we got out to get a taxi, they called us back in.
He opened the door for you.
No, he fucking did. And the way that they lowered the camera to be behind one of his friends as they got closer to the door in some appearance that he was going to block it. You're fucking American tourists. They're giving you the utmost courtesy, and your review is important. And you know what we mean?
Yes. Well, then so you have Sean who says, "Oh, were you there? You're so full of shit." I'm not full of shit. If that guy was blocking the door, you would keep filming him blocking the door.
Literally.
You wouldn't stop filming, would you, Sean? Why did all of a sudden the camera went like this and then the filming stopped, Sean?
He has footage of everything else.
Everything else. Oh, except for the spy meeting the other spy. Except for that, he doesn't have footage of that.
We need another, like, I don't know, rich white lefty kid to like follow Nick Shirley after his interviews and talk to all the same people and get all the angles. That's what we need.
Yeah.
I only covered 2 out of the 3. Do I count?
We could get there. God, we can't. We gotta do unfuck again.
No, not necessarily. I mean,
God damn it.
Manny and I have talked about where basically we could just go through like the entire city of Franklin and talk about the fact of how much money is being misappropriated here in Tennessee, especially. Oh my God, there's a fucking airplane.
But you could do that. Perfect stranger, you're probably right. It's hot in Cuba. He was probably like, one, I can open the door for you, but would you like to wait for your taxi inside with the air conditioning? Because it's fucking Cuba. It's hot and it's humid. What the fuck are we doing? So he's supposed to be waiting for his taxi to show up to the hotel. Remember that.
Well, we're running into some complications here. Just trying to get out. They're asking why we're trying to leave the hotel early.
Immigration police.
And they took us into the back room of the hotel, and
Didn't film the immigration police.
we had a meeting with a 2-star general who interrogated us for 10 to 15 minutes about why we're trying to leave Cuba, what was our purpose of our travels, what kind of questions we were asking the people on the streets.
I doubt that happened because those are the questions you get asked when you enter the airport at customs. I don't know if anybody has ever traveled to another country. I have. I went to Costa Rica and they check your passport when you're entering. And they say, hey, how long are you here for? We told them the date that our trip is planned to leave. They're like, what are you here for? We said a vacation with family. And that's the end. That's the normal questions that they ask you. This camera shake effect. Yeah. Oh.
what kind of footage we got. The general then said we could go, and he said they would get us a taxi to the airport. However, we waited for 5 minutes and there was no taxi. We thought we were about to get set up, so we left the hotel and set off on foot.
Maybe it takes a minute for the fucking taxi to pull up.
5 minutes? I've never had a taxi pull up in 5 minutes.
Wasn't he also explaining about, and other people around him, how the fact that gas is not there and they probably have to make sure they found a taxi with fucking gas?
Yeah, so it's going to take longer. And I want you to mind you, there's people on the street right now. He's going to get, it's
Cuba.
Can't.
As soon as we made it down to the hotel lobby, they had their guys down there. We had immigration, and they brought us in for an interview. Gabe, so what's the current circumstances that we got going on right now?
Oh, he was so
trying
close
to
to
find a
running into
taxi.
that
We've
hole.
left the hotel. We're a few miles out now. No taxis are anywhere. How are we getting out of Cuba?
So, number one, second we got downstairs, we had, what you want to call their undercover police, walking through the lobby, just playing it cool, acting like there's nothing. Once you and I came downstairs, and you guys made your way out to the front, two-star general came out of nowhere, and he asked as politely as possible, but with firm action, like, hey, I need to sit down, we need to talk to you guys. And then he realized that he was pressing, so he's like, hey, could you just bring in your friends so we could talk? And I was like, oh, what's going on? And he goes, I would want to talk inside. That's when he came outside to the outside lobby. I was trying to just engage the conversation there, and he said, I would like to talk inside. We had our conversation. Now they let us leave, and now we're on foot by the university and the hospital.
They let you leave. If they wanted to detain you, they would have. I promise you. They fucking would have.
And can we also talk about the fact that this is Donald Trump's fault?
Mm-hmm.
Because any American goes over there at this point, they can see as like some op because of the threats he's made to Cuba. This is probably even more common and rampant in Cuba because they're expecting some type of invasion.
Yeah. We're dangerous to them. Of course they're watching us. It's silly.
We got about another 1.5 miles to the airport, 2 miles. So we're on foot. Hopefully we can get a taxi at some point.
We're gonna walk
if we
to
don't
the
get
airport
squeezed in before.
And there's no taxis out right now. That's a bit of a problem right now. The streets
You
are
could have just
empty.
waited at the
Everybody's
hotel.
going the opposite direction.
By the grace of God, we found one taxi driver in all of Havana who agreed to take us to the airport.
Havana is the major fucking city in Cuba. Like, give me a break here. In all of Cuba. It's Havana. Yeah, also, walking a mile is nothing.
The only problem, it's a tricycle that only goes 10 miles per hour.
All right, we got our taxi. All right, so our taxi to the airport. Not the taxi I thought we were gonna get into to make it to the airport. This is our taxi we have right now. It's the only option we had available. We're gonna try to find another car taxi because this is taking too long to get to the airport, and our flight's gonna leave without us. And right now we currently have the entire government of Cuba onto us.
Wow, bro.
Now, we weren't able to get another taxi. We've been in this taxi for the past hour or so. Suns came up, we finally made it to the airport.
I thought you were only a mile from the airport. What?
And now this is our last stretch in order to get out of Cuba. They might press us one more time inside the airport.
Also that chickie, he can't afford noise canceling equipment. Yeah, I guess not.
So we don't know exactly. We're not out of here for certain, for good. They might make one last push at the airport. They could either ask us some more questions.
They will, because you're leaving and you have to go through customs.
Or not let us board our flight. They do have all my camera gear inside the airport right now, so we have to get all of that. And
Oh, that's what it was, chickie. They took all his camera equipment and held it. Because although he got a visa to travel there under journalism, he did not get what's usually called a carnet. It's a separate visa for your equipment that you have to pay for if you're going to bring anything beyond like normal recording equipment. He did not get that, so they took it.
everyone's on the know that we're trying to leave Cuba right now. We'll see if they let us board our commercial flight.
We made it to the airport, and now I had to go get my camera gear that they had seized just 24 hours before. They questioned me for another 30 minutes. They then took one of my security guards, questioned him as
Why Why the fuck? What the fuck did you have wrapped up? What the fuck
They
was
had
that?
seized just 24 hours before. They questioned me for another.
What is that?
Bruh.
Is that bread?
If you're gonna wrap something up like that and expect them not to believe it's a substance, this is fucking crazy.
That's tape the fuck up.
He did that on purpose.
Yeah, I was just about
Abso-fucking-lutely.
to say that. 100% he did.
30 minutes. They then took one of my security guards, questioned him as well, and then they ended up letting us get onto.
Oh no, you went through the airport like a normal person.
Gracias. Oh, we're making it onto the plane right now. I've never been so happy to make it onto it.
You were fine the whole time. Oh, you had time to stop for food. You guys were. It's so dangerous. It's so dangerous. But we had time to stop for a sandwich. We had to get out of here. Gotta get on the plane.
It mind boggles me how they're reacting as if like they came out of like battle. You know what I mean? Like they're acting like, oh my God, this is such a dangerous thing for us to do. And we survived Cuba.
Fucking stupid.
I will punch you.
I got pulled up by two guys. They wanted to do the smooth approach, like, hey, what's going on? Why are you guys here?
When did you get pulled over? And why didn't you film that?
Why are you guys leaving so soon? You guys got here yesterday. After going back and forth, and I was done with the small talk already. I was like, bro, if something's gonna happen, let it happen already. And he's like, I'm like, listen, we had a 2-star general at our hotel at 5 in the morning. You guys are here now. We were pressed all day yesterday. What's up? And he's like, even the president knows that you guys are here.
The president of Communist Cuba knew that we were here.
He knows that we were here. Facts. They know. They've been watching us all day. They know that we're here. So.
President didn't give a fuck about you.
You might not see
agent
three more happier men in the world right now.
Feels like Christmas morning. How are you?
It must be so nice. Aries, this was not about somebody I don't like. I don't like him because he's fucking harmful. That's why I don't like him.
Also, Robbie, this is not geared towards us. This is geared towards the MAGA. Like, it's not them insulting our secret intelligence. They are he's practically insulting MAGA. Every single day, every single time MAGA figures out something, oh my God, look what this person found out. It shows how stupid they are.
We need a Nick Shirley. Oh, well, we probably do need a Nick Shirley sticker in Discord. Yes, that one. Just like, because we have the Erica Kirk one. We need this one now. I love that. That's becoming a sticker, Kayla. I can't. Ay, ay, ay. Chamber, he didn't find any fraud. Stop.
If all of you fantastic people over on the TikTok and the YouTube can engage with the engagement, I know specifically on TikTok, it has been doing quite a bit when it comes to suppression. Y'all remember like a couple weeks ago when Monica had like 300 people minimum? You remember that? And then TikTok said, fuck her. Y'all remember when Olive used to have minimum 200-300 people up to 400? Most I saw in your live ever was like 500.
Yeah.
And then they said, fuck her. So can we make sure that we're doing all the things to show the algorithm that we appreciate this content? Thanks.
W.
We love you, Hector.
Thank you, Hector. Let's see.
Also, completely slightly off topic, but also exciting for women and femme presenting people and even men. I've talked about it a million times. I was diagnosed with PCOS at the age of 9. It came out yesterday that PCOS is no longer called PCOS anymore. It's not polycystic ovarian syndrome. It's polydendrochine metabolic ovarian syndrome. So instead of just focusing on the cystic part of PCOS, they are now focusing on the fact that it's more than just the cystic ovaries. Not all people who have PCOS have ever had cysts on their ovaries. This is huge, huge news. I put an article in your live chat. I put one in Hector's miscellaneous. I didn't know where you wanted me to put that, Hector. And a few other discourse. I think it's very, very exciting. Endocrine.
Endocrine. Yeah, I've heard endocrine too, but endocrine is usually how I say it.
So endocrine metabolic ovarian syndrome. This is huge. This is very exciting. I actually was like in tears a little bit ago because this is like super exciting. This means that like as someone who has been diagnosed with this since I was 9, this could actually mean they're going to change how they address and treat women who have PMOS.
All right. So I had talked to Mia already, so I was trying to wait to see Mia to go live. Audie, do you want to do the announcement for tonight, or would you like me to? I need to grab this food off of my porch too.
Or do you want me to? I'll do it randomly. Sarcasm, obviously.
I don't care. Me? Okay. So the plan is to raid Mia, but if not, I don't know. But Audie is doing her debates that she does with friends this today because it's Wednesday and it's with me. So I will be on with Audie. If you're not following Audie on here and on YouTube, Mermaid Audie, make sure that you are going and following. Hector does do the best announcements, that's true. But it'll be 7 Eastern, 6 Central, 5 Mountain for me. And what would that be? 4 Pacific time. So make sure you come watch 2 badass women debate these MAGA chuds tonight. You'll get to do a double dose.
You also get back-to-back badass women all the next 2 Wednesdays as well.
Fuck yeah. Because then next week we have Olive, and the week after that we get Queen.
Yeah, Queen. Queen Bee Lee will also be with Ari on the 20th. I'm the 20th. Mm-hmm. What day? The 27th is Queen. That's how dates work. I can read calendars with my ears. That's how I'm going to forever address things now.
27th is Queen. Okay, got it. Perfect.
So we got some back-to-back badass women who support feminism because apparently leftist men think feminism is bad.
Leftist men don't understand feminism.
Leftist men don't understand women.
That's true.
Some leftist men.
This is the Lefty Circle Chirk. It's totally not.
We're not in a circle, goddammit.
And I offered to have people call today, and I only had a couple people call. One was an accelerationist, and the other one does not let me talk to question the things that he says. So there is that. Okay, so she says she's on Tube, so let me get this redirected set on YouTube for Mia. Oh my gosh.
No, you're not wrong, Maddie. I'm excited to watch that one.
Spell.
The Ari and Bill live was fire, and then I also did enjoy Hector's collab with Ari. I did not like the mannequin, how I could see the mannequin better behind you, though. That was still kind of terrifying.
Y'all gonna get off my mannequin, okay?
I hate
Sometimes they're scary. What do you... Sometimes.
It helps with sales.
No, yeah, do it. No, absolutely. Fucking yes.
You should at least put a face on it or something.
No, that would be worse. Don't do that.
Put a what on there?
A face.
Never mind.
Don't do that.
No! Why would I? That would make it terrible.
Okay, so YouTube and Twitch, I will be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, whatever time that is for you guys. And you over there on YouTube, you guys are